To lead the Skol chant and sound the Yaller horn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
Yeah, buddy.
Here we are.
Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Let's Skol show. I'm Michael Fish. With me, I have the Italian stallion, David Rinaldi. He who greets with smoke, Shaq. Cody's not with us tonight. He's on a life adventure. And our captain, Keith, will be joining us after he gets done doing his background stuff to get things kicked off. Welcome to our second off-season show of the year. We're going to be here every week for you all during the offseason, getting through this abyss together, and oh boy, is it ever. So, little news dropped. KOC got his extension, so you know we're going to talk about that in just a minute. And we're going to talk a little bit about those divisional round games of the playoffs and look ahead to the conference championships. What happened to the NFC North in the playoffs? I don't know. We're going to take a look at the 2025 free agents and try to pick who will be back with us. If that, we'll be asking for audience participation via polls. What's the latest on that coaching situation? Are we losing anyone? But now for something a little more lighthearted. I know we've asked this before, but for our new audience, why don't we tell everyone how you became a Vikings fan, seeing as how none of us are actually from Minnesota. And you, in the audience, please comment us your stories. And David, let me lead off with you. How'd you become a Vikings fan?
I'll be honest, I was originally a Rams fan. My father, and I don't even know how that happened at all, but my father had worked in a car dealership, and he had made a whole helmet that looked like the Rams. Like he had and it came out good. He was a body shop guy. Following year, my brother-in-law, not at the time, but now, dating my sister, was a Viking fan. He was in the U.S. Marine Corps. He was on Parris Island, and every week he'd send me a Hagar the Horrible cartoon in the mail from Parris Island, just to kind of get me hooked on the idea of being a Viking fan. And lo and behold, for the 73 season, that was the year that he was there, and I became a Minnesota Viking fan in upstate New York. So that's the story long and short. The only thing I got to follow up with is I made my father change that Ram helmet into a Viking helmet. I wish I still had it. I do not. But I definitely had horns on the side of what used to be a Rams helmet. Skol Vikes.
What about you, Shaq?
So for me, it's more of a gaming aspect. I grew up playing like video games. I was the youngest. My cousins and my older brother would play like Madden and 2K, back when 2K was still making football games. And like, you know, being the youngest, you get tired of your older siblings beating your ass in video games. So I used to be a Broncos fan back when it was NFL Blitz, back when you could slam people and do all those crazy, wacky stuff. And then once it got to more simulation football, like 2K Madden, I started gearing towards the Minnesota Vikings. And there was only one player that I could beat my older siblings with, and that was Randy Moss in the 98-99 Minnesota Vikings. I just sent him deep and just throw it deep, and then that's how I became a Vikings fan. Because I couldn't really see, like since you don't live in Minnesota, it's kind of hard to keep up with actually seeing the Vikings play on TV, unless they're in the playoffs. So that's my story of how I became a Vikings fan, from video games to real life.
Let's go.
So mine is my dad was in the Army. He was a lifer, and he worked on the atomic wall. So I was born in 71, and we were stationed over in Germany during the early and mid 70s, and the American TV channel played the Vikings games. So I was little, watching Fran Tarkenton run around like Superman, and that's what kind of caught my eye. And then my brother is 13 years older than me, and he played high school football for the Darmstadt Vikings. So that just kind of cemented it in at a very young age. Vikings. And that's how it was. That's how I became a Vikings fan. What up, Captain?
What up?
I love it.
Skol, Zoe. We throw some Skols out to Unc, and Zoe and George and Sarah. Who'd I miss? T-Bass, Bob, Skol Vikings news fans.
You know what's funny?
Barber.
I'm reading the chat, and most of the people who said they're Vikings fans is because they was born in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's our choice to be suffering, and they just
We chose it. They were forced into it. Now I'm just waiting for that one that says I married into this shit.
Yeah.
She's in the house.
What about you, Keith? How you became a Vikings fan?
Probably the dumbest story out of all of us. Damn, what was that? Okay. Anyways, it's because of my dad's flag football team. Like in 6th grade, he was playing flag football, and they named all the teams, and his team name was the Vikings. So he didn't have a football team at the time. So he just started following the Minnesota Vikings, and this was, I don't know, 70s. So if he would have been called the Patriots or the Chiefs, I'd have Super Bowls. But his team was the Vikings, and I don't.
Even if it had been the Eagles, or the Bears, you'd have one.
If it would have been almost anybody but the Vikings, I'd have one. Except for the Lions. If it was the Lions, it wouldn't even been to one.
Oh, no. Did we have to go there so early?
It was
the
quick.
Lions fans aren't here yet.
They're not here, but it was funny. I did see something like to make fun of us about never winning a Super Bowl, but they're the only franchise that's been around since the Super Bowl era that's never even been to one.
And that's crazy.
That is
I don't
crazy.
know what's worse. What's worse, not going to the Super Bowl or not winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, not going.
I don't know. It's hard for me to have the debate because they haven't gone in my lifetime. So it's kind of like we haven't been to one either as far as I'm concerned. But it's still fun to make fun of other people. It doesn't matter how down bad we are. Someone's down a little more bad. And speaking of being down bad, how are you guys feeling right now? We're about 2.5 weeks from our playoff game. Are you guys still more disappointed about the loss, or are you starting to get more excited about the offseason? Because the offseason has become kind of fun. Ronaldo, where are you at?
I'm super excited about the offseason. We got money to spend. We got, we're going to get into some of the coaching moves that we've got, and what's going to stay together and what's happening around the division, man. I think a lot is going our way right now, and I'm sure we'll get into more of it. I'll leave it at that. But I am stoked.
So are you pretty much over it now? Like you got out of your feelings about the loss and everything. Season's over. You accepted. We're good.
Bro, honestly, I was pretty much over it before the game happened. I wasn't. It hurt, but it didn't hurt as bad as it seemed like it hurt everybody else. That's maybe 50 years of disappointment from that kid that got rid of his Rams helmet and picked up a Viking helmet. But I was over it pretty quick, to be quite honest with you. And we got a lot to talk about as to what 2025 is going to look like. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the offseason myself, more so than I am disappointed about the loss. I mean, I definitely was disappointed, but I definitely didn't take it as hard as I took other playoff losses because, as I've said all season, we were playing with house money. So I mean, you know, we're not any we're not any broker than we were coming in. So you know, no, I mean, I was not disappointed because you know they made us start to believe, and it was still a good season no matter what. Like I said, it was fun. We won 14 times. That was 14 good weeks that we had. We were happy 14 times. I am a captain, Sarah, not just a sailor. Okay. So but I'm excited. Like the NFL has found a way to make football year round, and I'm here for it because there's always something going on every couple of weeks. Like there's a little bit of a dead period in the summertime, but we're still gonna find, you know, stuff to talk about. But we got like the draft coming up, we got free agency, got the combine, like there's always something going on. So I'm definitely looking forward to the offseason. I just want the other teams to hurry up and finish too, so they could be a part of it. Because I do get, you know, a little bit bummed when the games are going on and we're not playing. What about you, Shaq?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of used to this at this point. You know, like you mentioned earlier, I haven't seen the team in the Super Bowl. The closest we got would be that Brett Favre interception in the 2009 NFC Championship game. That is literally the closest I feel like we ever been to getting to a Super Bowl. So, you know, I'm just excited to get this next part of the season started. You know, the all season. I feel like we're gonna keep our coaches. I've been saying that in the private chat. You know, my hot take: Minnesota Vikings don't lose none of their coaches, and you know that gives us a chance to build this team fully. I'm kind of more like last week. You know, I was still kind of like I don't know what we should do with Sam Darnold or not. We're gonna probably talk about that later, but I'm kind of more leaning towards go all out, build a team, and then just have JJ start. If he suck, fuck it. If he don't, Super Bowl.
I don't agree that we were far from being a champ this season. I don't know how you can say that. I mean, if you're in the playoffs, you're only a couple steps away. So just making the playoffs, like you're in the race, and it's not like we barely made the playoffs. We were an historic wild card team. So I don't know. And I think we beat ourselves against the Rams. Like, yes, like that defense was tough, but we could have beat them. There's just a couple, I think, mistakes we made that kept us from actually making that a game. So I'm not going to buy that we were far from being a champ this season. What about you, Mike Fish?
I'm still pissed we lost week 18.
That's actually really fair and valid.
That is. There was so much on the line.
I'm not really. I got my rant out. I got it all off my chest. I tried not to hold on to negative stuff too much, but sometimes I can't help it. And I'm already moving forward. I think it was just out of sort of professional courtesy that I watched the football games this past weekend, and I'll watch the championships and I'll watch the Super Bowl because normally I'd be just out. I don't care. It ain't my Vikings. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for our potential. I can't wait to see our quarterback play in a meaningful football game. And
that seems really far away.
Yeah, but it's what I'm looking at, saying that's what I can't wait for. That's the draw. I'll be excited to see him in a little preseason. I'll be excited to see him play, and I'll try my best not to judge him against this past year. But yeah, I'm excited.
T-Bass, let me ask you a question. You say the Brett Favre interception. What about all the Adrian Peterson fumbles that game? Who do you blame for us losing to the Seahawks in 2015? Who do you blame for that? Do you blame Blair Walsh, the guy who scored all of our points? No, you blame Blair Walsh because it was the last thing that happened. It sealed the deal.
Let me just say, if there was a fish's catch in 2009, it would have been one of them fumbles.
Nope.
So
Skol,
that's
Lucy.
my thing. Like, if you have a chance to win the game, that should be the only thing that matters. If you have a chance to win the game, like if the ball is on, if we have the ball and we can win the game by scoring, then it's up to that offense to score. Yeah, it could be a couple fumbles, interceptions here, but the score is still 21-17. and all you gotta do is kick a field goal, well, score a touchdown, then go score that touchdown. A lot of teams win last couple minute games. We don't talk about what happened the whole game. We talk about the last drive.
Yeah, man. Look, all of it is an overreaction after a playoff game. It's either, hey, our team didn't show up and they're dead and we got to fire everybody. It's an overreaction that way. Or we lost by like 1 point and there's somebody to blame, right? And at the end of the day, if you take your time and you have an idea of where you were and how you got there and what really happened, I think that you find out that this team is primed and ready. There's like 5 or 6 holes that they've got to address, and they've got the wherewithal to do it. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
So what do you guys think about
definitely lined up?
Go Packs Go? What's up, Vinny? He's asking if Aaron Rodgers is coming next to do the whole Brett Favre move.
I hope so. We got the offense for it.
He'd be a good water boy.
We got the offense for it. 1 year.
Would you guys rather have Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones?
I think I'll take the Hall of Famer.
I'm actually going to take Daniel Jones, to be honest, because I still want JJ McCarthy to start. If Aaron Rodgers is coming here, JJ McCarthy ain't starting.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
a little bit of a trick question. That's a little bit of a trick question.
That was a trap question, yeah.
What if he can't beat out Daniel Jones?
I'm taking a beating, Fish.
You are taking a beating, bro.
It's turning that way. Keith, I don't know what possessed you to buy that hat, man. I tried.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm gonna tell you, but there's gonna be some party boat in Long Beach or someone that's gonna hate to see me coming.
The Love Boat,
buddy.
I'm gonna be trying to make that Queen Mary move. No, that is out here in Long Beach. So it was a bit of formality, but some good news. Our man KOC got his extension, even though there was some reports about tension, which I actually do believe that there was some tension. I don't know that it was as serious as it was blown up to be, but I do think there was something there. I do think that there was a little on KOC side. He wasn't happy that he had to prove himself after he felt he did. And I do think that maybe KOC wanted more power, because like we talked about it a lot last year during the draft, where it's like KOC would give inputs to Kwesi about the draft, and Kwesi would be like, oh yeah, that sounds good. We'll see if we can make that happen. But just kind of kick back. I got this. So I do think there might have been some things that needed to be ironed out before it got done, but it got done. Are we all happy with it?
Yes.
I am, because
I'm not stability, right, guys?
I'm not trying to wait to see what coaches is going to be available next year, because let's say it don't work out with KOC, or it do work out with KOC next year. Now we got to pay him more money, and then we need continuity with JJ McCarthy in this offense. If we change head coach and then have a second-year quarterback, or he's going to be, in his third year, learning a new offense, I'm not trying to do all that. I'm trying to make it as comfortable as possible for our franchise quarterback. And we already have the coach who's been in his ear since day one, hyping him up, getting him ready up to scuff. Let's just roll with KOC. This is his quarterback. This is his team. Sign him that 5-year extension, and let's see what he got. So far, he already has a winning record. I'm pretty sure he has more wins than losses. Yeah, he's 0-3 in playoffs, but keep getting there. Eventually, he's gonna have to win one.
He'll win in the playoffs. To use that as the only measuring stick as to whether we should hire, fire, or keep the guy has always been, in my opinion, just a ridiculous statement. And the Wolves agreed with us. I mean, we don't know the terms of the contract, but the guy signed to 4, 5, 6 years. Who knows? Maybe more. We may not find out until Kwesi's is done, because that's happening too. But at the end of the day, we have a quarterback, we have a coach, and we probably have a GM that are going to be holding hands together in the future, and they're all going to be around for a while. This is a chunk of time that we have stability and vision, and we have a leadership and it's going to either take us or not. And really, the window was always to be open for a really competitive team in 2025, 6 and 7, and that's really where we're heading. That's what's going on. Thank God.
I agree with what you said, Rinaldi, about that being the only measuring stick is the playoff wins, because honestly, we weren't really even expected to be in the playoffs both the years we went. And we didn't just go to the playoffs. We went to the playoffs by winning 13 and 14 games. So we ended up somewhere we didn't expect to be. We've just been playing with house money with KOC like this whole time. But now, like, he finally gets to have his quarterback. And we've seen what he's done with, like, Dobbs. He was not successful as far as wins, but the offense looked good with Mullins. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. Like, look what he's worked with. We saw the best version of Kirk Cousins. So yeah, I think he deserves this. Fish, do you have any reservations about this?
No, because I think I said this last week. There's really no risk. It's like, okay, we bring him on, we extend him, we get him going, and if he falls flat on his face, he doesn't count against the cap. It's the only detriment is to the Wilfs checkbook, because the money's guaranteed that they're going to pay him. But they extended Zimmer and Spielman, and then the next season they fired them both. And that, in that respect, it ain't going to hurt us. So let's see if we can start to ascend even more. I've been saying it for a while now. For sustained success, think about it. 13-win season. I think we could all agree that if Cousins doesn't go down last year, we're a double-digit win team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
14-win season. Yeah. It's all sustained success. And to think about okay, Sam Darnold had a renaissance year. Dobbs is Dobbs. Mullins is Mullins. And, man, I'll be damned if KOC didn't manage to get something out of all of those guys.
Yeah, and make no mistake, 2023, they were going to the playoffs had Cousins stayed healthy. They were going. That's 3, in my opinion, in my book, write that one down. That's 3 years of playoffs.
Yeah, so the thing is, sustained success. Now we drop that new quarterback in. That's our franchise guy, and it's going to be turbo. We're going to fly. We might only win 10 games next year, but we're going to get in the playoffs and do damage.
Are you guys worried at all that maybe with KOC getting this extension and JJ McCarthy likely being our starter, the expectations might be set too high? Or should they be?
They should be. Honestly, I say it should be, because JJ McCarthy, no shot at him, but he was our only top 10 quarterback pick in franchise history. So he's going to have that expectation on him. KOC's been winning with fucking bums at quarterback. I'll say it like that. So there's that expectation on him. And we got more cap space this year than we ever had with KOC and Kwesi at the helm. So all this expectation is going to go on. I wouldn't just say JJ McCarthy, but this season. So the whole Vikings team for next year, because there's so much more going for this team.
Gotcha. T-Bass, how did he win against the Packers the second time then? I don't know if I buy that.
Bears.
However, I think a lot is lining up amazingly. As far as expectations go, if we retain the vast majority of this coaching staff, which, by the way, in my opinion, is the best coaching staff in the division anyway. Let's just say that. We should have high expectations no matter what. If we don't, then that's another story. I know Flores looks like he's staying, but it's not a definite yet. Somebody might pop in and grab him at the end. It's not impossible for that to happen. But if he stays around, KOC's our play caller, fortunately or unfortunately. Maybe we keep McCown in the quarterback room for one more year. This is our window, like Detroit had a window last year. They had all their coaches stay aboard. They won 15 games and they fucking lost it with a number 1 seed to a number 6 seed. I hope we don't do that. We should have high expectations though. If we get to keep everybody together, stick to the plan, and make it work. And I'll tell you what, Detroit, they lost 2 coordinators. We've got a whole lifetime of losing a whole 50 years worth of watching our coordinators go and win Super Bowls in other places. Brian Billick. I could go on and on and on. And guess what? They lost 2. I expect very little out of Detroit this year. And I got to tell you, I am not a Big Ben guy. You start listening to this guy talk, he is not Campbell. He's not KOC. This guy has to learn how to run a football team and then build an offense around a guy that plays nothing like Jared Goff. Nothing like him. They're total polar opposites. This kid does not fit into that Detroit scheme. I am not afraid of Bears either. I'm going to say it right now. If things go to plan the way they should, we should be in the race with us in Green Bay, and that's it. And I don't think Love's is him either. I think we should win this fucking division, man. I'm already saying it now. I'll call it now.
I'm with you. And let me tell you something else to get excited about. And we're going to look at this later when we talk about the players from this past season that are becoming free agents. I took another look at that list, and the one thing that really jumped out to me, the average age of the players is about 30 or 31. They're all 30, almost all of them. We're going to get younger. We're going to get faster. We're going to maybe even get a little cheaper. But we're going to do this thing.
I hope we get a little bigger, though, in some spots.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind a little bit bigger.
So, piggybacking off of what you and Fish said,
go ahead.
My homie I just talked to, he's a Chiefs fan. He said the Vikings is one of the only teams he's seen get carried by coaching. Like, there's no reason the talent we have. Yeah, we have a lot of talent here and there, but I feel like the coaches help elevate the current talent we have on this team. Like, if we had any other coaching staff, I feel like this team probably would have been a 7 or a 5-win team.
Shaq, who said that? Because it's a great take. Who said it was?
So my friend, he's a Chiefs fan. We go way back since high school. So he's been dealing with the Chiefs before Patrick Mahomes, back when they was mediocre just like us. And then, everything changed once they drafted Patrick Mahomes. So he keeps up with the Vikings. I keep up with the Chiefs. But he's basically saying, the Vikings coaching staff is one of the top tier.
So I think we're all happy with the extension, and I think that KLC has done a good job. I think we all agree with that. We were looking at some stuff, and we saw that the Vikings have only had 10 head coaches in their whole history, which is kind of crazy from a team from the 70s, like 10 head coaches. I think the Raiders have had 10 in the last 12 years. So, that's something that's pretty cool. But my question is KOC already a top 3 coach in Vikings history?
All right, so Bud Grant, Dennis Green. Oh, obviously Mike Tice.
Oh, fuck, Mike Tice.
I like Tice, though.
You're welcome, Sarah.
I do like Tice.
Mike Tice.
I think you might be.
You got what, Jerry Burns?
I think you got to shout Jerry Burns out for one reason. And maybe it's his whole coaching career as opposed to his head coach career. But I will say this. He gets the credit in some circles in the NFL for creating West Coast offense. The Vikings were playing West Coast offense before the San Francisco 49ers were. So I think that there's a little – the guy was underrated. But I think that I'd have to go with KOC top 3, maybe 4, without him winning some games. Remember, Jerry did get us to an NFC Championship game.
I will say I'll give KOC one more season. For me, I say I still have him right below Mike Zimmer. Only because Mike Zimmer had to deal with a lot of shit his whole career in Minnesota.
That's fair.
And KOC didn't have to deal with that much besides, unfortunately, the Kyrie Jackson passing away. But compared to Mike Zimmer, each season, Mike Zimmer was dealing with something new in the offseason.
He actually dealt with an entire mutiny of his defense. Remember that?
I felt like we were doing something all year this year, though, like because we talked about we want to see this team go through adversity, but we were saying, damn, this team has been going through adversity.
I think
and
a
that
lot
was
of
before we ever lost the game.
I think a lot of Zimmer's problems were self-inflicted, man. He had 7 offensive coaches. He couldn't fucking find one that wanted to stay.
Michael Orlando, you got him number 6. I would like to hear who are the 5 you have ahead of him. Especially for being a young guy.
Dylon.
He's like Bud Grant.
Well, Bud Grant did coach twice, so
which one?
Yeah, he could be 1 or 2.
Yeah. Although that 85 season
while we wait for his list, in a way we're kind of fortunate. In a way, too bad for Brian Flores. It doesn't look like he'll be getting a head coaching job. And it doesn't look like McCown will be getting any other job either, which means the band is pretty much coming back together. I don't think we lost a single coach. We have one guy who's an assistant coach and assistant QB coach who's in the running for the offensive coordinator job at Seattle. I don't think he's going to get it. I forgot who I think is going to get it. I have that. But I think like our whole staff is going to be back. It's also wild that Wes Phillips is the only one who didn't get an interview.
Couldn't drag away from the bar.
And when you think about his last name, his family, Wes Phillips has a family legacy behind him. And he couldn't get in there.
Way to Bob.
So this is the first time. If everything holds like it looks like it's going to hold, we're going to have the same offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and head coach for 3 seasons in a row, which is the first time we've had that since 2014, 15, and 16. That's a pretty big gap that we've been cycling through. Poor Kirk Cousins always having a new offensive coordinator. Like, do you guys feel like it's a big deal to have that continuity among the coaches, or do you think like they should be able to perform as long as the head coach is there?
I think it's a huge deal, and Detroit's going to find all about it right now. You watch Detroit, you watch us. I think we blow past them this year in this division. I think we blow right past them.
I think it's actually a remarkably big deal also because what was it, 16? Was it the 16 season where our offensive line coach died? And we really kind of fell apart off of that. I remember asking somebody who knew more about football than me, is that a big deal? And they said, oh, yeah, that's a really big deal. So, yeah, I mean, just not having that change is going to be a monster deal because for the most part, our coaches were good coaches.
Brad Childress. Bad
Well, his offense did kick ass, Shaq. You got to remember that.
Yeah, kick ass offense. Well, I think it's actually a fair list that he could actually stick up and debate for. So I challenged him. I was like, how do you have him 6? And I mean, it's fair.
Yep.
Take Adrian Peterson away from that offense. Brad Childress would have been fired his second year.
I mean, take Pat Mahomes against the Chiefs and Andy Reid's not in commercials. So, I mean, you can't really do that.
Right.
I mean, shit, at least he was having wins. At least he been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you take Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens away, then what? Like, you could do this all day.
You take it too much away. Take AP away. Brad Childress not touching the playoffs.
Man, let's just take the whole starting lineup away.
Yeah, you take AP away, that's fine. But, I mean, Brett Favre was our quarterback that year. So, and it was one of his best seasons of his career. That made Sidney Rice a wide receiver. Like,
yeah, they weren't winning with
TJ.
They weren't. That wasn't.
Unfortunately,
I mean, was Chester Taylor still on the team that year?
But they did. I mean, they went to the playoffs with T-Jack and Gus Frerotte. So yeah, you can say you have AP, but look who his quarterbacks were.
Right.
With Joe Webb and Christian Ponder.
Whoa. Gus Frerotte, slander would not be tolerated. He could have took us far if he didn't get hurt. He could have took us far if he didn't get hurt.
All right. So Keith has Case Keenum. Shaq has Gus Frerotte. I have Jeff George. Who's your obscure Vikings quarterback that you will stick up till you die, David?
Bob Lee. Won a playoff game. Won a playoff game.
Everyone I've never heard of.
Yeah.
What number was he?
That I don't know.
We're gonna need you to figure that out because I'm gonna have you do one of those this offseason where you're telling us about Bob Lee. We're gonna have to make that happen. Are you guys surprised that Josh McCown was actually getting interest as a head coach from being a quarterback coach?
No, I'm not.
I am.
He was getting interest last year before we hired him, not to be a head coach, but he was getting interest to be like an offensive coordinator for a lot of teams.
He said he would not
chose
leave.
coming up.
He said he would not leave here unless it was for a head coaching opportunity. So that also kind of speaks to the culture of this team and how much people want to be here. And what I keep saying when people are saying people aren't going to want to sign with the Vikings fringe, no, people want to be here, man. Like they're building something special. So yeah, I think that's cool. But that was I thought it was crazy that people were actually talking Josh McCown for a head coach and he's never even been an OC.
I think it's as a really quick side note on the people want to be here thing. I figured we'd have inside track on just about every free agent until I looked at Washington's free agent, the pool numbers that they have. They have like number 2 in the league. It's like 90 million to play with, and they're in the NFC Championship game with Jalen. Oh my God, or Jaden. They're gonna look out for that team in the offseason too, man. No matter what happens now.
But I don't know if their needs are the same as our needs.
Oh yeah, so, I'm not saying they are. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, they could take a guard. They probably would take offensive line from us.
I don't know, dude. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't want to block for a quarterback that's back there scrambling.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that we definitely are going to have a chance to sign free agents, and they're going to want to come here. Are we going to get every single one that we want? Absolutely not. But we will sign some free agents that are going to make us better.
I'll be happy if we just get 2 that we want.
Really. How many did we get last year? We wanted.
I mean, there was a whole lot of who's that?
Yeah, no, we didn't get any that we wanted. But it probably worked out better that way.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Did it?
Yes. We would have gotten 1 if we got the guys we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were shooting for the moon.
We could get who was the defensive tackle we wanted? That was from Miami.
Yeah. What did he even do this year?
T.R. Tart?
No. not T.R. Tart. It was
Wilkerson.
The big one.
Yeah, Wilkerson. Was he good?
Yeah, he was on the Raiders. He signed with the Raiders.
Yeah, good signing,
he was
bro.
Decent, but the Raiders was bad.
We'll do it again this year.
But yeah.
We'll do it again this year. So the divisional playoffs are this week, which is one of the most exciting weekends of football that there is. And I don't think the games let down at all. Like all the games were good. Did you guys watch them?
I watched every one of them. They're great.
Really
I'd say the
great
one
games.
I watched.
I mean, when you think about it, all those games, the final scores, they were within single digits of each other.
Except one.
That's possible. I didn't know they do that.
There was one that wasn't?
Yeah.
There was one that wasn't, Fish.
Blue team.
Oh.
Are you sure you watched it?
I don't know. Okay. It obviously was the Rams-Eagles game because you're in Philly, the weather. So the Eagles obviously ran it up against the Rams, right?
Wasn't that one, Fish?
No?
No. I'm actually surprised it's not filled. Our comments are not filled with that team right now like they were last week.
That's stunning. Huh. Okay. I'll have to go back and look at ESPN's website to see if I can get the scores because I just can't remember anybody winning by double digits.
So, speaking of that team that lost by double digits, which of course was the Detroit Lions, what happened? What happened to the NFC North in the playoffs? We were the best regular season teams or division in NFL history with a winning percentage of 662. That's never been done before. We had a 15-win team, a 14-win team, and an 11-win team. One of us should have won a damn playoff game, and we didn't. What happened to the North in the playoffs, Rinaldi?
I think they all played their Super Bowl game the week before. I think Detroit beat us in their Super Bowl. I think we beat Green Bay in our Super Bowl, and I think Green Bay lost to us in their Super Bowl. So,
not only that, they lost to Chicago.
Yeah, then they lost. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't matter at that point, though. I honestly, I think that's kind of what happened. The old iron sharpens iron thing didn't seem to work out so well in this playoff. It doesn't mean it won't in the future, but I think we beat the shit out of each other, and that's kind of what happened. And especially having it all come down at the end of the year, I think these teams got too hyped to win those specific games.
I mean, did the North? Did we have weak schedules?
We did have,
as Vinny's saying.
We did. I mean, we played the AFC Central or South? AFC South.
See, I don't buy that though, because a win is a win. So it doesn't matter who you play.
I mean, at the end of the day,
see, people don't know what I'm talking about.
We don't know.
I do.
I know what team is going to be good or
you
bad
do.
next year. Like, nobody knows what team is going to be good or bad until the season starts, and then we start seeing teams lose and start seeing teams win. Like, nobody thought the Commanders was going to be this juggernaut team week 1 of the season. I'm pretty sure everybody had that as an easy win for whoever was playing the Commanders until they actually played them. So
True.
I don't buy the crappy teams or good teams until, after the season.
Yeah, and then when a good team beats another team, like the Texans still had an okay season. There it is, right? So, I think that good teams beating other teams makes the other teams' records worse than they really are.
I don't know how a Packer fan could say the Bears were bad, because they lost to the Bears, and I think the Packers had one win in the division. Come on, Vinny.
And they won it on the last play of the game on a blocked field goal attempt.
On a blocked field. You're a blocked field goal away from getting swept by the division, Vinny. Let's just keep it real.
So let me expand on what I was saying about Detroit versus the Commanders for this. I think that each member of the NFC North got the worst possible matchup in the playoffs that they could. Do I think that if the Green Bay Packers would have gone to Tampa Bay, that they probably would have won that game? Yeah. Do I think that if we played Philly, would we have won that game? Strong possibility. Brian Flores' defense versus Jalen Hurts. I just think we got the worst possible matchups. If it would have been Tampa Bay going to Detroit, do I think Tampa Bay would have beaten Detroit? No. It just, the stars lined up where we had to play the teams that just were the worst possible matchups for our first game of the playoffs, and we all got beat. Some of us got beat by double digits.
Are we playing this game? You guys won 11 games, bro, but the division you couldn't. So you were injured versus us, but not injured versus the other teams.
Wait, wasn't the Packers talking shit last year that they swept us? Well, not swept us, but talking shit because they got second in the division, even though Kirk Cousins got hurt when they blew us out the second time we played them.
I mean, Vinny probably wasn't, because Vinny seems to be a pretty cool guy, but I mean, you can't say the Packers had so many injuries when Detroit's in your division. And Detroit might have had like the most injured playoffs in history for a divisional winner.
Yeah, right.
14 players.
So let me ask you guys to be a little bit objective here.
No.
Was a bigger letdown the 14-win Vikings losing their wild card game to the Rams in Arizona, or the division-winning Lions losing in the divisional round at home to the Commanders?
Absolutely the Lions by a long shot, because we were playing with house money, right, Keith?
Hell yeah, here.
We were not expecting.
Hell yeah, we were.
6.5-win team at the season. We performed everything. We overachieved. The Lions were destined to go to the Super Bowl. It was preordained. It was happening. Ask anybody, and they would have said It's the Lions, baby. It doesn't matter if they have 56 people on the IR. They're going to the Super Bowl because of Dan freaking Campbell. And then they go to play the Washington Commanders, who are not the most talented team, and a rookie quarterback that comes in and absolutely yanks their lunch money out from in their own home and sends their fans packing midway through the fourth quarter. You better damn well believe it was the Lions taking that big ass turd in the divisional round of the playoffs.
I would agree. I think the Lions are the number 1 at home, playing a number 6 on the road. That's inexcusable to lose in the first round. Period. End of story. I don't care who you are, how many people were hurt, or how hot the other team is. A 1 losing to a 6 that first divisional round. Gross.
Yeah. And we talked about this. Number 1 seeds usually go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And how lucky is Philly to get a home game in the NFC Championship now?
They are, aren't they?
I'm glad to see that's supposed to be us, but I'm glad to see the Lions get humbled after the kind of season they had. But now they've had 2 seasons in a row where they've kind of actually felt our pain. They've never felt our pain before. They felt our pain. Those fans are gonna be different for the rest of their lives.
They're not used to getting coaches poached. They lost 2 fucking coaches this year, man. I gotta stop saying it. They have no idea what they're in for. I've seen it 10 times. They never won before. They don't know what it's like.
Speaking of the coaches getting poached, what do you think about Ben Johnson going to the Bears, you guys?
I'll start. I don't think that guy is a leader, man. He is not Dan Campbell. He had to look down at his hands to tell which side was his left and his right in a press conference. The guy said, "Hey, it's me over here on the right," and he had to look at his fucking hand. Honest to God, he might be an offensive genius. I guess I don't know. He had an awful lot of good players, and I think he drafted pretty well, so they ended up doing well. Him being a head coach, a leader of men, I don't see this guy being that. He is no KOC. He can't hold a room. He don't walk into a room and command attention. I don't care. We shall see. I'm pretty happy with him going to the Bears. I'm happy with it.
Is anybody like slightly concerned about Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator of the Lions, going to the Bears with Caleb Williams? There are no offensive linemen; they're old wide receivers.
I am. I think that Caleb Williams could benefit greatly from having an actual offensive scheme geared towards being a real legit offense. Do I think they still have a lot of problems? Yes. But Caleb showed flashes last year of being a damn good NFL quarterback. And I just think he's going to be a little more consistent. I think they're going to be a little bit of a problem. We might split with them next year.
I disagree with that in one way. The thing about Caleb is when he likes to hold the ball, he likes to pat the ball, he likes to play off what is it called? Off scheme, whatever it is. So and I don't think he gives a fuck about the play. If he can get off scheme and start flipping the ball over the place, he's gonna do it. And I don't care if it's the guru of gurus, Ben Johnson, telling him to not do that. He's gonna do it. He's going to be playing off scheme all season long. He ain't going to play like Jared Goff and go 19 for 19 before he misses a pass. I don't see it as a scheme fit. I just don't, man. I'm excited for this.
So, Shaq,
I agree.
Like good fit.
I agree with both Fish and Rinaldi. It's just so in order for Ben Johnson to be successful, he's going to have to kind of build his offense similar to the Detroit Lions, but not run it like the Detroit Lions. He needs to have Chicago be a run-first team and then make Caleb Williams slow the game down way too much to the point where Caleb Williams has easy reads. And there's no reason why Caleb Williams shouldn't have easy reads when he got Keenan Allen, if he comes back, DJ Moore, Roman Doomsday, Cole Kmet. So it's like, he has weapons to have a solid offense, just build that offensive line and be a run-first team. That's what scared me, because if you're not putting the ball into Caleb's hands the whole game and he has easy throws to make and then they just play defense, that's pretty frightening, honestly.
Shaq, do you think that they reach for a running back in the first round, not offensive line?
So if they're smart, they'll go best player available. Whether it be offensive line or running back. Hopefully, well, if I'm a Bears fan, hopefully it'll be offensive line, because if you get a good offensive line, then you could just choose a running back 4th, 5th round. Hell, draft 2 running backs 4th and 5th round.
Yeah,
As long as you build that offensive line up, that helps the quarterback and that helps the running back.
I was just thinking, to your point, man, when the Lions got Gibbs and they got Montgomery in there at the same time, that 1-2 punch, that's what changed that offense around. And I'm my concern is that they go after what's that kid, the number 1 running back. Is that too early to take him at 10?
They probably would. They probably would. But see, the Lions also, they had an offensive line already built. Like, I think I was talking to other guys yesterday. The Lions, if you look at their offensive line been together for some years.
Yep.
It's not just some drafted and then let them go. They had like 4 or 5 years together, and then they became elite slowly but surely. So if Chicago builds an offensive line like how Detroit did in time, that's gonna be scary. Because think about a mobile quarterback with a good offensive line. That's how the Eagles are winning games.
It's a good fair take. Yep. That's a fair take. I never thought of it that way. I was thinking of it from the running back perspective as opposed to the line.
Yeah, trust me, I don't like giving the offensive line credit, but at the end of the day, it boils down to trenches. And if you have an elite offensive line, you can make an average quarterback and an average running back look elite.
I agree. Keith frozen. What do you think, Fish?
I think he's meditating.
What do I think they're going to do in the first round? Probably take a wide receiver. So, what should they do? Build in the trenches. What did the Lions do? The Lions actually built in the trenches. They had some good defensive tackles. They have a great offensive line, probably the number 2 offensive line. They built inside out to the point where I think a lot of us were probably looking at them like, they're building inside out. We're building from the edges. I know I was. I was like, damn, I'm a little jealous of all that. But maybe Ben Johnson will recognize the importance of that, but maybe his GM won't. Maybe his GM is going to say something like, we need a cornerback. We need somebody that's not going to taunt the crowd. So
I didn't think about that.
Huh?
I said, I didn't even think about it that way, because, communication is important between the head coach and GM. And if they're not on the same page, then that's how you get the split, like what happened with Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman. Because if the GM is drafting plays you don't feel like you need, then it's going to be like, well, shit, I can't really use this player, and that's basically a wasted pick.
I mean, think about all the weapons they have. They're kind of like Diet Us. They've got really good wide receivers. And they got their first overall pick quarterback. So the GM could be looking about like, you know what? The offense is kind of good. We'll take an offensive lineman in the 4th round or 5th round, but that first round is going to be defense.
They could do defense.
Just saying.
They just got to make sure it's worth it.
Yeah. Excuse me just a second, fellas.
And I've been telling my Packers homie Marcus, who's been on the show a couple of times, this division, everybody's going to have to go defense eventually, because all of our offenses in this division, Packers, Vikings, Lions, and Bears, are all high-powered. They all got weapons that could be easily in the top 10. So how do you counteract that? You got to build that elite defense. And I've been saying, I want to get our defense to be top 3 before Chicago get their offense to be top 10.
Okay. So, guys, the news came out that Aaron Glenn took the head coach job with the Jets. How big of an impact do you think that'll have on the Lions? We've been talking about Ben Johnson a lot.
Listen, you got to give the guy credit for what he did with all the guys that were hurt this year. They held their own and still were 15-2. They still ended up winning division, getting #1 seed with a mash unit for a defense. So he did something right. What's blowing my mind is that the Jets put him in play without having a GM first. I don't even understand that.
That's amazing.
It makes no sense. It's the same old Jets, man. What the hell were they thinking? Anyway, I think it's a bigger blow. I think it's a bigger blow to the Lions than anybody's going to give it credit for, because that dude held that team together with duct tape and Elmer's glue.
Yep. And was this year 2 where he was actually the DC? I think I remember something about when Dan Campbell first took over. Didn't they fire their defensive back coach and make Aaron Glenn the defensive back coach, and then he moved into the DC position?
That's how I remember it. I don't pay that much attention to the Lions, but that's how I remember it too.
I think so too. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty tough blow too, because the funny thing is we all said their defense was ass. Their defense wasn't great. I think they actually finished the regular season with the number 10 defense in the league. So while they might have been suspect, somehow they still managed to be the number 10 defense in the league. Maybe that's just because they got so far up on a lot of teams that it kind of made it that way, I guess. But
so here's the interesting tidbit. I didn't know he played for the Jets.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He was a damn good defensive back for the Jets.
So that goes to my next point. He was a defensive back coach. He started with Cleveland. He was on the Saints team when they had a good secondary.
Yep.
And then I'm starting to see the trend of him being a good secondary coach. So what worries me is he has Sauce Gardner, and they might bring back Reed.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, Captain.
Welcome back. Thank you for stalling.
That's what we do best, baby.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about our free agents. Let's go through this list and talk. Do we think the Vikings will sign them, or do we think that they're going to let them walk? And we're going to start off with these guys. So these are guys that are free agents that play less than 10% of our snaps. We got Quesenberry, Feeney, Flax, Mullins, Daniel Jones, Fabian Moreau, and Theo Jackson. These guys are all free agents, but play less than 10% of our snaps. Chat, let us know which of these players you think will be back.
Quesenberry, and that's it.
I think Theo Jackson.
Whoa. Yeah, I got a problem with that one.
Yeah, me too. I don't think Quesenberry stays. I think
he might retire.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he can come back at 37 years old. I don't care, but no Theo Jackson?
Yeah, Theo's the man. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked to see Fabian. I'll give you my couple. I think Theo and Fabian stay, and Daniel Jones. I think Theo, Fabian, Daniel Jones are my 3 that stay on this team.
I'll say it's probably going to be Dan Feeney, Daniel Jones, and Theo Jackson.
Yeah, I agree. I think Feeney does stay. They liked him. He didn't really get to play, but that's good because if he came in, they needed him. I do think we ended up rolling with Daniel Jones and JJ McCarthy, and Theo Jackson is definitely coming back.
They liked Fabian too. They talked him up on every presser towards the end of the season.
They do, but he's 31, and he might turn 32 before the season starts. It depends what we do in free agency because we really only have Blackman under contract next year. So if we don't end up signing Murphy, if we don't go out and get another cornerback in free agency, then yeah, maybe. But it'd be a bad situation.
It'd be a coaching situation where he's like the last guy in, and he knows the defense, and he can help out. That's it.
Theo Jones Mullen, Lucy says. Wait, what? I read that. I thought I didn't think about it. So, Lucy, you think we're going to keep both quarterbacks with JJ McCarthy?
Mm-mm.
Let's keep in mind that we did keep Brett Rippon. Like, we already extended him. We were signing him for the season.
Sarah.
You know what the thing is Sarah absolutely loves that hat. She's expressing it through hate.
It just made me laugh. It was funny.
All right. So now let's go through the other players who are free agents that did play over 10% of our snaps, and some of these might be a little bit harder. Keep first or replace first? I don't get that.
I don't either. I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, I don't get it. Oh, Steven, what's up, though? So, Ryan Wright, our punter, he's a free agent. Do you guys think that we bring him back, or do we look elsewhere?
Yeah, we're bringing him back.
He had a good season. He had a decent season. He's not top 5 in the league, but he's good. And he's our holder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't do one fake punt this year. Tell me something might be up with him. But Ronaldo, you kind of nailed it. Well, as I'm saying it, I'm rethinking it. I was like, he was the holder, and like that's very important. But our kicker sucked to end this season, so I don't know. It might have been him.
I don't think so. I think it was our kicker. I think he was hurt.
Well, if you guys will remember, when we kept Ryan Wright, we got rid of our holder for field goals. And that first year with Ryan Wright as the holder was really bad because they didn't have their continuity yet. So I hope that we don't get rid of him for the fact that he is the holder, because that could make a really long season for field goals and extra points.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to competition while you're changing that, right? I wouldn't be opposed to any competition. If somebody came in, had a better leg, and they fucking beat him out, go for it. But I think they probably keep him.
Do we need a new special teams coordinator? I think we all kind of, I can't remember his name, but I think we all like him when he's up there on the podium talking. But I saw something that in like the last 3 years, we're ranked like 27th, 29th, and 30th in special teams.
Which is why we probably haven't been really seeing him at the podium talking much this past year.
Just Wednesdays for 10 minutes.
I mean, it's like, if we're not returning kicks or punt returns, then I guess it doesn't matter, because a lot of teams aren't returning kicks and punt returns. So that's what it boils down to me. If you're a special teams coach that can get block kicks, block punt, then I'll put you above. And then, you got returning kicks. But other than that, like, I feel like it's just a toss-up for special teams coaches.
Okay, Steven, now I get what you're asking. That's a good question. I just don't think they bring him back under any circumstance. I do think they go out and get other cornerbacks. I mean, that's my opinion. I think they end up drafting one. I think they sign a couple. I do think they bring Murphy back. I think they'll bring – we'll get to that, but I think they bring Murphy back. Next, we got – and these are like in no order as far as position. I kind of went in order of the impact of the players. So smaller to bigger is what we got going on here. The bigger players will be coming later. Thank you, George.
Thanks, George.
Oh, we got Cam Akers at running back. He's 26 years old, which is still pretty young. He's still going to be pretty cheap. He was $1.1 million this year. I can't imagine him being much more. Do we bring Cam Akers back?
Yeah, and let him fight out for the position. I mean, I don't hand him a number 2 spot right off the rip, but he's solid. He's still good. He's still young. He's only 26.
You agree, Shaq?
So here's my thing. It's kind of like we see Cam Akers, so this would be his second year with us. It's like, I don't know what else he has to do to prove that he deserves to be here long term, that KOC and Quasi needs to see for him. So I wouldn't mind bringing him back, to be a 1-2 punch with Aaron Jones. It's just, if we can't upgrade the position, then bring him back.
That's my problem with it. Shaq. If we can't upgrade the position, I don't know that I want him at all. I mean, we got to have an upgrade to want him. He's got to be number 3 or number. I don't really want him the number 2 guy to Aaron Jones, because I don't think that worked that great. We had no short yardage. I know a lot of that's the line, but some of it isn't the line. Some of it's the running back. So
yeah,
I think we got to have. I'm not opposed to bringing him back and fighting it out, but I don't want him to be our number 2 option unless we have to.
Well, we could always let him go and then give a draft capital next year to get him back.
Yeah,
So
we don't want you anymore. Come back to me.
We don't want you no more unless it costs us a 7th rounder. All right, so it sounds like you guys want to bring him back.
Wait, so do we have to trade a pick for him, or was that still free?
I think we had to trade for him.
Yeah,
he didn't get cut.
It was like a conditional 6th, wasn't it?
That's what it was.
Trent Sherfield. Shaq hates this guy. He's a wide receiver and special teamer. He made plays at both those positions throughout the season. Not very visible, but he did make some plays, and I think we do bring him back. I just wonder if he could return punts.
Please.
I think he's going to be the replacement for Powell this coming season.
So I don't hate him. It's just like, how Fish feels about Harrison Phillips. That's how I feel about Trent Sherfield.
Well, he's a special teamer, so one play a game is probably pretty good.
Shit. If that. If you see his name pop up. I'd rather have, back? The guy who was injured, who was our special team ace.
He'll be back.
Oh. Najee?
Yeah.
True, but I mean, now you got 2 gunners. I think they bring him back.
I do too.
But he has bounced around, so there's reasons the team haven't held on to him.
And I think to Steven's point, he's our best run blocker, which is not saying much, but he is probably our best run blocker.
Get Pickens.
Hey now.
So Camus, Grugier Hill. Hill.
I bring him back.
Not Grugier. Grugier Hill.
I mean, he's French, so we got to bring him back, obviously.
There you go.
Or is he Haitian? Which one is it? So
yeah, hell, I know. I just know he light skinned.
He's 31.
I know the 31's throwing me off too, Fish. I think you bring him back and let him fight it out. I mean, it doesn't bringing him back just means 90-man roster, right? I mean, that doesn't mean he's a 53.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll bring him back. He made some plays. It's like when his number was called upon, it's not like he was visibly hurting our defense.
I'm gonna say this right now: if we do bring him back, we got to cut Awesome Watt.
I bring him back because he's a depth piece, and I don't want us going out looking for linebackers in free agency, and I don't want us spending one of our very few draft picks on the linebacker. Our linebackers are set. We got Cashman and we got Pace. Those are our guys, and he served well when Pace was injured, so I'd bring him back. The age doesn't scare me because it's going to be a 1-year cheap deal, similar to this 1.4.
Now, hold on just a minute. I don't want to bring him back because he missed that block punt.
I don't either.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, cut his ass.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to miss that?
That pissed him off.
That missed block punt led to 9 sacks.
My grandmother could block that punt.
Momentum is real, dude.
I just said it led to 9 sacks. It's real. Michael Fish, I'm gonna let you take this one.
Yeah, buddy. Let me tell you something. I think I want this one back. He showed the ability to get some pressure from the inside at times. Do I think I want him starting as a defensive tackle? No, but what did they call it? Our NASCAR package on defense? Yeah, I wouldn't mind keeping him in as our NASCAR package on defense.
One thing I do like about Jahad Ward is a lot of plays when he's getting pressure is that quick first step. Like, as soon as the ball's hiked, he usually get in the backfield because he's so quick and agile.
Spoiler alert, we're bringing everybody back.
Hadi had a good year, and I think he's a really good locker room guy. They loved him. The coaching staff loved him. I think they're keeping him for sure. I think that he's a 53-man roster guy, not a starter, but I think he still has that role next year. It's his to lose.
You know what's interesting? I'm looking at these salary cap numbers. Like, they're not
cheap.
even costing nothing.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Bro, they're nothing.
And none of them are like really gonna go up. They might get like a $500K like raise or something, but like none of them are going up. Like, oh, he's $7 million now.
But they all are old. I don't care what you. They're all 30 something, man.
They are, but I mean,
I'm 30.
Well, you're not an NFL player either, bro.
our depth though could be older. I mean, that's fine because they got they're not playing 17 games. 70% of the snaps. Like they're coming in situationally, so I'm okay with it. We haven't got to the meet yet.
I agree. I think the other part of that though is with Hottie kind of faded at the end. Is that just me thinking that, or did you guys think that too? I thought he faded
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. I think it became the Redmond show more.
Yeah, it became the Redmond show.
Yeah. Man,
is older than football years, T-Bass. So this one we might have a little bit of discussion on Johnny Munt.
No,
I would say if we still had Nick Muse, I would say let him go. But by God, we don't anymore.
We don't. He's on the Eagles practice squad now, thanks to Steven's notes. I'm still letting him go. I'm still letting him go. We got Oliver and Hawkinson. I'd almost rather just pick up a UDFA or something.
Yeah.
Tyler Warren.
He's still only $2 million. He's only $2 million. I bet you they bring him. I think they bring him back. I'm not saying they should, but I bet you they do. He's another.
I mean, he gave up like the only onside kick this season, bro.
Yeah, there is that.
I'm sorry. I'm not bringing Munt back.
Which led to 9 sacks in the Detroit game.
It did. No, I'm not bringing him back. Like this, I guess I'll be the first one to say I'm not bringing a player back, and I'm not bringing Johnny Munt back. I didn't want to bring Johnny Munt back last year.
We could literally draft a tight end in the 5th, 7th round to be our backup tight end.
Yeah, for a tight end 3, we could get Rinaldi on the treadmill and get him in there.
There you go, baby.
I don't think he's any longer the best tight end 3 in the league. So we're cutting Johnny. Not cutting, but we're not re-signing him. Good luck finding another job, but you're probably
that was something I mentioned earlier. Was when I looked at this list, the average age was like 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to get younger.
What we got next?
Who's next?
Jerry Tillery.
Jerry Tillery.
I bring him back.
I'm not.
I want to replace him with someone better, but again, I think that he had a good season.
I thought he had a good season towards the beginning.
He had an okay season, but I think Redmond took his job. I think we're going to draft a defensive tackle. I'm letting him go too.
Yeah, I mean, we could find somebody better. I'm with it, but it's only so much, drafting and free agents that's going to be able to, have an impact immediately. Not saying he had a big impact for us, but he still had experience and he still was making plays here and there.
I don't know. He disappeared the last half of the season, Shaq.
I
can honestly not remember his name being called once for a play.
George, no to Tillery, as T-Bass said.
I think he had a strip sack. That's the last play I remember him making.
He had a big player too for during.
I think I remember Redmond coming in. And we all forgot Tillery was even on this team.
Did he have a strip sack?
No, he had more. He had tackles for losses.
That's not a turnover.
Multiple.
I think Tillery recovered a fumble, Shaq, is what you're thinking of.
Oh,
I think
shit.
he recovered
I take everything out back. Cut his ass. I know he was making more of an impact. We don't care about fumble recoveries. We only care about forced fumbles.
Brandon Powell.
I think it's time for him to move on.
I do too. And me and Fish were big on bringing him back last year. Just he didn't have that same impact on offense. And even on the punt returns, every time that he was catching a punt, I was clenching my butt cheeks, man. Like it just never looked good. And even when he did catch it, he did nothing with them, which is fine. It's fine. Like as long as you're not fumbling the ball, that's good. But he was also fumbling the ball.
Bro.
Yep.
We recovered them most of the time, but he was fumbling the ball. I think we're going to end up bringing in another wide receiver to be a wide receiver 3, and Jalen Naylor can go ahead and be the Brandon Powell wide receiver that comes in and gets us some first downs. We need to find a new punt returner. That's fine because he's not a punt returner. I'm worried about losing. Sorry, Brandon Powell. I tried.
Yep.
Ooh.
Move on. We need another punt returner. Because honestly, I don't care if the other receivers. I don't even care if the receiver's good or not. I want a punt returner that can return punts and kicks. I want somebody who could change the field position off of special teams over a third, fourth, fifth string receiver.
So, Steven, last year, Powell, like 70% of his catches, maybe 80% of his catches were either first downs or touchdowns. So, like, that's why I wanted to bring him back this year, but he just not had that same impact on our offense. And as a punt returner, he just scares the shit out of me. So I'm good at letting Brandon Powell walk.
T-Bass is right. Tillery did cause that fumble from Jacobs on the first drive of the second game against the Packers. He's the one that punched it out on him.
Okay, so bring him back. I'm convinced.
Bring him back because he forced a fumble? Nah.
Shit, we bring back people for less.
We're not that same team. What do you mean Jalen Naylor has to catch the ball first? He had like 6 or 7 touchdowns this year. He had 2 drops, and that's all you guys want to freaking remember. He had 2 drops.
I know. Not me. I'm with you on that.
Like, you know how many clutch first downs he had?
Touchdown.
You know how clutch he was when Jordan Addison was injured?
Yeah, man.
But no, he had 2 drops, and fuck that guy.
Horse hands. Somebody called him fucking horse hands. Hoof hands. Get out of here.
Drops. I think Justin Jefferson had a couple drops that would have been touchdowns too.
Justin Jefferson did have some drops. And I'm not saying make Jalen Naylor the freaking punt returner guy, so don't get it twisted. I still remember it against Green Bay. Okay, so I'm not saying he's the punt returner. We're gonna need to address that. But Brandon Powell does not need to be a Viking next year.
No.
Dalton Reisner.
TBD.
Fuck Dalton Reisner. Get rid of him now. I hate him. I hate his face. I hate his blocking. Fuck Dalton Reisner.
I hate his hot wife because she's annoying, but she's hot, but she's annoying.
Ain't that hot. She's kind of hot.
She's pretty hot, dude. But she's annoying. I should have never followed. I should have never followed her on Instagram. Like, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I hate his fashion choice. Sorry, I stole that from you, Fish.
What's that?
Oh yeah,
the fashion choice.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think that's a punishable offense still. I don't know, man. The $2.4 million kind of makes me go, well, But nah, I think it's time to move on. We need to get another guard. We need to have a difference maker in the guard position, not the stopgap, not the cheap stopgap. So, yeah, we're going to have to move on from him to say we can get the difference maker.
I'm letting him go. And I think that he is going to go because, like I said, I followed his wife's Instagram, and they were doing a dance in the house, and like she's like, our last dance in the Minnesota house. So I think he knows he's not coming back.
I don't get the way the fan base is like in love with Reisner. The fucking guy he thinks he's worth more than he is. He couldn't start the first 4 games last year because no one wanted to sign him, and he kind of wasn't ready to start the season. And he wasn't ready to start the season this year. People shit on guys for missing 2 games because they have a cracked ankle or something. This guy just doesn't. He holds out. Get rid of this guy. He's an idiot. Make him go away.
Steven, I don't get this. As a pass specialist, so do you sub him in and out when it's a pass and not a pass? Like, this isn't defense,
bro.
I don't get how you do that on the offensive line. He wasn't that good. People fell in love with Reisner because they don't like Ingram, and honestly, I think Ingram was a better player than him. I'm sorry, I do.
I agree.
So here's my thing.
Heck, when did our offensive line start to fall apart?
When they took Ingram out for Reisner, I'm just gonna guess.
For real.
I'm trying to think. Are there any big package plays for like pass plays? Because I know in the run game, they bring in the extra guard to tackle to help out and get those extra yards, but I don't think they really do that for a pass play.
No, like there's no pass specialist guard. That's just that. I mean, maybe we can innovate that. Like, oh, Riser's coming in. They know we're gonna pass, but he's so good at it, it doesn't matter.
Can he play fullback?
Yeah, right.
I was just thinking that too. I mean, if we're going, let's get rid of Ham, put in this 300-pounder at fullback and roll.
Well, I hate to tell you, that might be coming. We still ain't seen Ham on here yet.
Jonathan Bullard, 32 years old. Bye. Sorry, that offsides against the Rams, that was enough. And I mean, I don't recall him doing anything great the whole time he's been here, but he was Kwesi's first acquisition, the first trade he made. So they kind of held on to him. Sorry, buddy, you're gone too. And I understand that's 2 defensive tackles that I've let go. I'm okay with it.
You know what this means, right? The first re-signing of the new year is going to be Jonathan Bullard.
We already signed Redmond, so that can happen.
I mean, I'm fine with bringing him back as long as we cut him during the preseason.
Right.
Okay. Shaq's like, I bring him back as a camp body.
He's like the Stephen Weatherly. He's like the guy that's been around for just. Can we upgrade, please? Man. Can we upgrade here, please?
I definitely think we're drafting a defensive tackle and we're signing one. So everyone's all worried. We're letting Bullard and Tillery go, and we're going to replace them with a free agent and a rookie. And it might be a 6th-round rookie, but that's fine. It's fine. We
also got
Phillips.
Levi Drake Rodriguez.
We also got Taki.
We do.
Right?
They like him.
So Bullard and Tillery will be gone. I'm sorry if any of you bought those jerseys. They're going to be gone.
Tillery jersey.
Even Watson, the answer to your question is we've got 4 draft picks, buddy. Don't forget about that.
4 picks so far. I don't think we're picking in the first round unless Genty drops. That's the only way. Otherwise, we are not picking in the first.
That would be sick.
It would be sick, but it's not going to happen. So we are not picking in the first. But we will be doing a draft show as long as we hold a first-round pick that night.
Yeah, boy.
We're gonna wait all the way. We're gonna go 3 hours of draft talk till pick 24, and the Minnesota Vikings have traded the pick to the Detroit Lions. Well, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Here's my hot take: Vikings are going to trade up to get that second defensive tackle from Michigan.
I think
with what?
What's his name? Graham.
George, why are you coming at me tonight, man? What did I do to you? I'm sorry the Sharks suck, bro. What did I do to you, though?
The Blue Oyster Bar. Is that one of those bars?
I mean, if it's called that, it's one of those bars, but I don't know if there's one here. If there is, I'm not familiar with it. There's one in Santa Barbara. All right, next we got Patrick Jones, which this one might be a little tougher.
27.
Ronaldo's saying,
"So long, Captain."
I'm gonna agree with you.
He's gonna get.
It's not that he's a bad player, but it's time for Dallas Turner to play.
Yeah, and he's gonna get.
I think he might actually get us like a 5th-round comp pick.
He might too. He will.
Don't think about the comp picks, guys, because we're gonna be signing players.
That's the idea.
We should have traded his ass.
We should, yeah, like week 3, right, Shaq?
We should have got a 3rd or 4th round pick for him.
Hey, Patrick Jones' first sack of the season. Shaq's like, trade his ass.
I'm like, there's no way he's gonna keep this up. He kind of did. But
didn't he have like 6 sacks by week 4?
He did, man. He was the man.
He was having a sack for the first 4 games.
Bob Sweet says to keep Jones.
It depends on how much you want.
Sorry, Bob. I'm letting him go too because I want Dallas Turner to play.
I'm not trying to force Dallas Turner to play if he can't play.
I'm not trying to force it, but I want that availability there. And I think as long as Patrick Jones is there, especially because they're going to have to pay him more than $1.2 million to keep him, it's going to be harder for Dallas Turner to do that. Dallas
Turner's playing, man. He's going to have 500, 600, 700 snaps. You watch.
The last time I had
Shaq, is Mason Graham going to drop to 24?
Did he smoke crack?
Not what you want. Not what do you want? Is he gonna drop to 24?
I mean, if he killed somebody, yeah.
There you have it. There you have it. Mason Graham is not going to 24.
He's not getting past the top 6. He's gonna be a top 6 pick.
Top 6, top 10. I was thinking top 6. Damn. This is for George.
6. Is that wacky?
Just George loves LA.
He loves LA.
What do you got, Fish? Keep or let walk?
I ain't keep him.
Oh, I'm saying walk. Rinaldi.
Walk. He's getting a bag, man. He's gonna get paid. Too many sacks.
It boils down to how much money he wants. Like, I'll keep him if it's for below market value, but just enough to make him satisfied, because we could always have him be a rotational piece with Dallas Turner. You could never have too many pass rushers.
2 years, $10 million.
I'd do it.
I mean, if he takes
So now Fish is on keep.
No, because that's what I was thinking while Shaq was talking was $5 million a year. I'd do it.
If you take it, I'll do it.
Do you guys really think he's going to get more than that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's his name
like
get? The one who went to the Panthers.
Weatherly.
No.
The other Weatherly.
Wanham.
Wanham. That's it. Yeah, he's a Wanham guy.
I think he got like $7 million. I think he got like $7 million from the Panthers. And we're like, we don't want him.
We don't want him.
So right now, I'm going to say that you guys are on team keep Patrick Jones, even though I'm saying let him walk. I want Dallas Turner to freaking play.
Wanham got 2 years, $12.5 million. He'll get a little more than that because of the structure.
Yeah. That's like he was
Sam Robinson. Fish didn't let me say the name, damn it.
Bye.
Can he play guard?
Backup season.
No, he can't play guard. I don't want any fucking tackles playing guard anymore. That don't work for the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm glad you said for the Vikings because it's working very well for the Eagles.
I know.
And the Cowboys.
It don't work for us. We've had 12 tackles play guard.
So, David, because Becton did already now just spend a season playing guard, could we translate that over to he's a guard?
Who?
Mekhi Becton.
Yeah,
that gigantic fucking monster that's the right guard for the Eagles.
Yeah, it works for the Eagles. It don't work for us. Listen, look, you want me to just say it? We've been trying to get an offensive line on this team for 12 years. Not 5, not 6. It's us. It's not them. Can we just fucking draft somebody that fits the spot? Can we just upgrade right off the rip, regardless of who it is? Let's put a guard in a guard spot. Why didn't we learn when we picked Hutchinson that he changed the game for that team? Why didn't we learn when we had all pro guards? Who we had as all pro guards in the past? We went to the playoffs every year and went deep every year when we had all pro guards. I don't want a tackle playing guard. I want a guard playing guard. I want a good guard playing guard.
Elite guard playing guard.
Yeah.
You want elite. Yeah, I mean, if he can't play guard, then I'm not bringing him back because we don't have no position for him to play.
And why would we pay him $17.5 million to do it? Come on, man. Really?
Yeah, he's probably gonna get a bag somewhere else. He might go to
Dallas. Let me be clear. I'm not interested in this guy.
Yeah, he might go to Dallas or somewhere to go.
He's out in Receivers Skol.
But we don't need him.
It was a good pickup though. That was a good midseason pickup. I don't remember what we gave up for it, and it's going to bite us a little bit next year. But what are you going to do? We had a pop-up season, and we had no one really worthwhile to finish the last 9 games at that position. I think he played as well as you can expect a guy to just step in and play. He did okay.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
don't
his
want
first
him
game, he was good.
Yeah.
His first game, we were like, we got somebody that can fill in. Yes. And then the pre-snap penalties happened.
And I can't wait for Darisaw to get back because that's the other thing that happened in that line.
Yeah, he can go. Shaquille Griffin.
We can bring him back. We need depth at corner.
I mean, if he stays at that same price, I think I'd be okay with it.
We need depth at corner. Like you said, the only one on our roster right now is Mekhi Blackman. And he's coming off of an ACL injury.
That's true.
I think Shaq had a little bit of an underrated year. Not that he was great, but I think he was pretty good. He was serviceable, and he was fiery. Like if you watched him after plays, like he was part of the team. I never felt like Gilly. I've never felt like Gilly was really like. I felt like he was a mercenary, like a guy that you just pick up and blah blah blah. I think Shaq felt like he was part of the team, and I think there's something to that. And I do think that they're going to need. I mean, you can call Murphy if we bring him back, the veteran of the group, but I still know that I see Murphy as like a leader. I'm not saying that Shaq's a leader, but he's certainly a veteran, and I think we're going to need a super veteran presence in that room. He could fill that kind of a role. I don't see him as a number 2 or number 1, but if he's willing to come back and fight for that 2 or fight for that, that third guy that comes in as a nickel, I think that he's valuable. I would say I would like to see him fight for a spot.
I can agree with that. I'd bring him back. Yes, we're small on depth here, but it's got to be around the same price point. Maybe another 500,000 to $1 million. I don't know. Because I control the Wills money and their assets and all that. So,
Rob Brzezinski, you just shove on off, dude. Keith's got this.
So we want to keep him. Next, Aaron Jones.
Nope.
This is a tough one.
If we're going to draft one, nope.
There's no guarantee we're going to draft one. And we have to know that before the draft because free agency happens before the draft.
When was the last time that we took a player from the Green Bay Packers and kept them for more than one season?
Greg Jennings.
That's about what, 12 years ago?
I don't know. When was the last time we took a Packer besides Dean Lowry?
Zadarius Smith.
But look at, let me tell you something about Zadarius Smith. He only plays good against his ex teams. Right. So if Zadarius signs with the Bears, the North is in trouble. Because he played for all of us.
Isn't it amazing that he's such a good locker room guy, but he's just a team hoe?
Yeah.
Like he went to Cleveland, right? Didn't we kind of make it so he could go to Cleveland, or did we trade him or something? Because Cleveland had this awesome defense, right, that he was going to be able to be a part of. And then, oh my God, they suck. And you know what? I want to join the Lions so I can play the Vikings twice a year. Or did you want to join the Lions because you wanted to chase a ring? Come on, man.
Look, man, I liked Aaron Jones, and I'm on the fence on this one because I like the way he played when he was available. But too often he wasn't available. Like he didn't have a long-term injury this season, which was good to see. But he was banged up every game, had to come out. He'd be done for a game, or he would come back in and still be kind of hobbled. So that does concern me because he has injury problems his whole career. But when he was like healthy, and especially in the first quarter, man, the dude was a beast.
Every game. Yeah.
So I think like if he stays cheap, like if he goes even under 7 million, maybe it's like 5 or 6 million. Shaq loves when I talk about money. If we get him cheap, I keep him and I let Cam Akers go because he's going to be part of a committee.
He better be part of a committee. I mean, look, the Packers let him walk after trying to make him part of a committee for 4 or 5 years. Maybe his whole career, if you really think about it. He always had the counter Aaron Jones. And if he can be a number 2 and we play it that way, I guess. I don't think that we are that offense where we give a guy a series every third series. I know we tried doing that this year. Did it work, guys? Did that work? Did it seem like
I'm going to say it did.
I don't know.
Only because how many times did Cam Akers come in and run for like 30, 40 yards on that drive? We're like, damn, he looked good right there. So, like, to an extent, yes, it did work. Was it sustainable? Maybe not. But there was times when Cam Akers came in as a change of pace, and we're like, oh, damn, he looks good.
I agree with that. But then you put Jones back in, and it didn't continue. He didn't look like the original Jones, the first quarter Jones. That's where I think it fell apart.
You know what? I'm going to keep him, and I'm going to keep him because of one big reason. Because I think that he would end up being the best friend to our new quarterback. He's a nice outlet pass receiver. He can still run a great route down the field. He was still dangerous running routes down the field.
He was.
I mean,
and how many times did Sam Darnold miss him when he was open on those routes?
A lot.
Exactly. Remember that?
You know who's not going to miss? JJ McCarthy.
That's right.
Because he's doing VR training.
Number 9, baby.
Because that's all he does, according to Robbie, is throw it to the running back anyway. So
number 9.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Number
I can
9.
just see JJ right now with that VR headset on doing his training. But in all reality, what he's got like, Prawn playing.
Watching his highlights against Alabama.
If you want to call it that.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but there's still consequences of that we have to deal with.
Yeah. And that's the reason why the Packers didn't use him as a workhorse back, is because his body, they seen that he can't handle a full workhorse load.
I mean, AJ Dillon's a free agent. We can go ahead and sign him too and just take the whole Packers X backfield.
I'm good off of that.
You know what? I honestly wanted AJ Dillon over Aaron Jones coming into the season.
So did I.
And then he tore his knee, so fuck you, Packers.
But yeah, I'll bring Aaron Jones back.
I think we're more on the side of bringing him back if the value works out, but I don't keep him and Akers because I do want to bring someone else into this mix.
We need a rookie. Bring him back.
Shaq, no hesitation.
No hesitation.
None here either. Bring him back.
None here either.
36, I don't care.
I don't either.
I say bring him back, and I'm also going to say he is coming back.
I hope so.
And I'm saying that because Brian Flores is coming back. I think if Brian Flores went elsewhere, he would not even consider it.
Super Bowl window is open. Keep him.
I think with Brian Flores coming back, he said he had the most fun he had playing football this year. He loved playing with Flores, and he was tearing up thinking about that might be it. Nah, I think he comes back, and maybe this is the year that he finally maybe plays a little bit less. Maybe Theo Jackson does take some snaps this year, like he was supposed to this year. But I think with Brian Flores coming back, I think Harrison Smith coming back, and he's gonna love this one. He's gonna come back at a team friendly deal.
Did you say you want to bring him back at $10 million?
I said team friendly deal. That's not team friendly.
I will say, I know Flores basically said he wants to play Harrison Smith less, but it's so hard to, because when Harrison Smith is out there, he's helping the defense while being on the field, and he just knows so much, and it's just hard to take a veteran off the field and have him being next to him.
I agree, and if we do end up bringing Bynum back, he basically was a mentor to Bynum and to Metellus. He's out there guiding them. Those are his kids. So I think he's coming back. And Tommy, $5 million. I agree with that. I don't think it's about the money for him. It's about what the money represents.
Yep.
It represents one more chance at a Super Bowl.
I agree. He needs one.
I say he's not coming back.
Are you just saying that just to say it, or do you have a reason for that?
I'm saying that because he's given his whole career to the Vikings. He's met so much disappointment when you just think about the last few years, even that I think he's actually going to take 1 year and go play for somebody else to try to chase a ring.
No shot.
No shot. No chance at that. He plays for the Vikings or nobody.
Yep.
Okay.
I just saw him in a Minnesota Wild jersey yesterday. He ain't playing for nobody else. Now, what I could see is possibly maybe he doesn't start the season playing, but he does one of those things where he keeps himself in shape and stuff like that and sees where the team's headed. Oh, okay, they're 7-2. Okay, playoffs are looking good. Now I come in. I don't want that, but I see him playing this year.
I do too.
And especially with Flores coming back.
him being a Chief if they win the Super Bowl this year.
Wow.
Fish, you're just devil advocating right now.
Somebody cut his mic.
What's the other word where he's like trying to be opposite? I can't think of the damn word right now. What he's being right now? Yes. You're just doing that. He will not play anywhere else. That's my last favorite player. And I know as my last favorite player, he ain't playing anywhere else.
He's my last favorite player too. I'd go there.
So yes, we want to bring.
If he's a Chief next year, you got to autograph that hat and send it back to me.
with a picture of my butt. Byron Murphy, should put the junior, huh? Damn it. Cornerback, 27 years old, 8.7 million. PFS suggests he might go up to 17 million.
Oh no!
Slow down, because
we need a corner.
If you want a corner at his caliber, it's going to be no cheaper than 14 million.
Yeah, might as well bring him back. If we're bringing him back, I want us to get an outside corner so Byron Murphy could play strictly nickel.
And that's where he should be. He should be there. He should be in the slot. He shouldn't be out there. But I was actually looking, as much as we don't like PFF grades, there's other stuff you can look at there. He was actually one of the best in man coverage as far as cornerbacks go when he had to play man, which wasn't enough in my opinion. We didn't do enough man coverage, but he actually graded well as a man coverage cornerback. He actually graded graded slightly better than DJ Reed, which surprised me.
I do not think he's coming back. I think he's going to get a bag, and I don't think he's worth it. I think he had a great year. I think he did really well. He's undersized, getting older. I don't think he's him.
27, dog.
I don't think he's him. I don't think he's it. I don't think he comes back.
I forgot what they said, but yeah, he has 6 interceptions this year, which like the last Viking to have that was like who?
I get it. I don't think he's coming back.
Anthony Harris.
Anthony Harris. That was the safety.
Yeah, so he's the Danielle Hunter. He's the Danielle Hunter of cornerbacks because his interceptions didn't really affect games. Like if he would have just batted the ball down, it wouldn't have changed the effect of the game.
But I give batted balls almost an interception. Like
they're like pressures.
No, they're actually more than a pressure. They're more than a pressure. If you look it up, like the top cornerbacks don't have a lot of batted balls. Like there's not many that have like double-digit batted balls. Like that doesn't happen a lot, actually.
Top batted balls, I'm referring to pass defense.
They're not getting thrown at.
That's what I'm talking about too, Fish. Like the cornerbacks don't have like 30 batted balls. Like that doesn't happen. Like 10 batted balls is a lot in the NFL.
That means you can't catch.
I'm keeping, and that's why they're a cornerback and not a receiver. I am keeping Byron Murphy.
At 18 mil, you're keeping him.
Now you're going up. I said 17, my guy, and I hope
at 17. So 17's good, 18's not. You're keeping him at 17.
All right. I have a limit, and I stick. I'm very strict to my limits.
Okay.
Not 17-1, not 17-2.
Gotcha. It's all good.
But that's just PFF's estimate. It could go lower. I thought KOC would get more than we're hearing. He got 12 million. I thought he would got more than that. So
really,
I heard he got 15.
It's not what I heard.
I don't think anyone knows.
We won't know. And the thing is, they don't have to disclose that because it's not part of a salary cap or anything like that.
What was his PFF grade?
KLC's?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Let's ask Sarah that one. Sarah, you still here?
See, people are saying 17 million, no effing way, but what do you guys think like a good starting quarterback cost?
I think we can upgrade from him to 17 or 18 million. I mean, we can get an upgrade.
To who? There's nobody out there.
There's nobody out there? Nobody.
Nobody.
There's 32 teams that have free agents, and Byron Murphy's the best cornerback in PFF. He's the best.
I think he's either the second or third on PFS as far as free agents. You got DJ Reed, Travis Ward, and Byron Murphy.
Okay, I would take DJ Reed at 24 million over this guy at 17 million.
That was dumb.
All day long.
I don't know if I can do that.
All day.
What about Bashard Breeland? We give him like for $3 million.
Yeah.
Breeland.
So it sounds like you guys don't want to bring him back.
His jaw for the Lions, Carlton Banks.
Oh.
So I'm going off what you guys are saying, what the chat's saying. It sounds like you guys don't want to bring him back. I want to bring him back, but you guys win. Yeah, it's me and you against the world, Shaq. Stephon Gilmore, he wants to come back. He only wants $5 million.
Is that's published somewhere? I didn't see that.
No. I'm giving you a scenario.
Okay.
I think he retires.
I do too.
Yeah,
I don't bring him back up. I don't even bring him back at $5 million.
He had no fire, man.
He made some key veteran DB plays, but it's like he can't be our starting corner.
No, he's gone. I don't even enter a discussion with him. Like, thank you. Like, we needed it. We needed something. You came in. You did better than nothing, but no. Bye. Go retire.
You were a guy
stay in Cancun. We're all in Cancun right now. We're gonna fly back. You stay. Like, I'm good. I'm glad they signed him. I'm glad they took that chance. But no. This is a tough one. Can you see that $1 million? It ain't that no more.
That's insane.
Ain't that no more.
He was a steal.
Wait, he really played for $1 million?
Yeah, he was $1 million, bro.
He's
on his rookie deal. Yeah.
We should have been extended his ass.
We should have.
I mean, the Wolves are learning that because they could have extended KOC for a lot cheaper than they probably ended up paying him. So
without a doubt.
So you're not gonna like this, but I'd rather keep Byron Murphy over Cam Bynum. I think we can replace Cam Bynum a lot easier than we can replace Murphy.
I'm just going to say this. Cam Bynum demonstrated an absolute unwillingness to tackle this year.
Against the Lions. Period. Against Gibbs on that touchdown.
I see this guy. I think he had a better season than people give him credit for. He's part of the heart of the defense, in my opinion, between him and Metellus. I think they are leaders on the team. I don't want to overpay him, but I do think if he's a reasonable number, you bring him back, and I think they will.
17 million,
not 17 million.
I just want to compare him to Byron Murphy.
Not 17 million. I wouldn't take Murphy at 17 million. I wouldn't take him at 17.
No, I know you wouldn't, but I think want to see where you're at.
Can we get them both for a combined of 17 million and they share a place to live? Share expenses?
So what do you think, Fish? Bring him back?
I'm actually no. I'm a no on him. I really am. Yeah, he didn't tackle. And quite frankly, I really got sick of the damn celebrations after a turnover. You know, instead of practicing that shit, watch more game film. Let's not get torched by 20 points by the Lions in Week 18 again.
PFF has him at 14 million a year.
I think that's what he's going to get.
Sounds steep.
You got Hufanga at 12 million.
Yeah.
What school he went to?
I don't know. I'm letting him go. I'm letting Cam go. I mean, if for some reason it was like 10, 11 million, then I'm considering that. But if it came down to do we keep Cam buying him or do we keep buying Murphy, I'm keeping buying Murphy. Sorry, we can replace safety. We cannot replace the dances. Those are irreplaceable. I'm not, discrediting that at all.
Let's just cancel them.
I would do that, Tommy. 15 mil for Byron and 10 for buying them, 25 for them both. I'd be in on that. I don't see it happening, but I'm in on that. Sam Darnold.
Give that man $40 million a year.
This is our last one. Is there any contract that's realistic? You guys would bring Sam Darnold back next year?
No, I want to clear the path for our quarterback to start.
Same.
You don't want to clear the path for Dallas Turner. But you don't want to clear the path for Dallas Turner. You want to bring Patrick Jones back.
So Dallas Turner has 2 bona fide starters in front of him in the rotation that are still under contract. I don't want to re-sign.
Patrick Jones is in his way.
He can outperform Patrick Jones. He can get ahead of him. I said, but I'm talking about for the ability to start. I don't want Sam Darnold there. I don't want Daniel Jones there. I don't want none of that shit. I want J.J. McCarthy to be the man starting in this season.
How do we end up with this asshole in here?
I don't know.
Hey, John Tracy.
Hold on.
John Tracy, go hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, buddy, if you would just subscribe real quick, be much appreciated.
Courteous Carpenter. I'm debating on Giants or the Vikings for me following. What is that? Follow the Giants. Believe me.
Rinaldi, I was going to say that too, but no, man. Nah, be a Viking. Let's go together.
Right, be a Viking.
Let's go together.
As a Viking.
Nothing bad ever happens.
You'll love it. It's never a downside.
Anybody in the chat, do you want to keep Sam Darnold? Let me know. I'm on Sam Darnold, and I'm not even playing the game where we franchise him to try to get draft picks. Dude, man came in here. He did more than we expected. Let him go be a free agent and just pick his destination of whatever options he has. I don't need to try to weasel a 4th round pick out of him, bro. Like, we're not going to get a 2nd or 1st round pick like some people think. Just let him go.
Bye-bye. And thank you.
Oh, John, that's so sweet of you. I hope y'all lose by 21.
I have a feeling that's somebody else, not John Tracy.
I
think John Tracy is an alias.
I do too. I think it's a fakie.
Yeah. So, Keith, if you don't mind, before we move on to the next subject, I'd just like to take 1 minute to do something, if I could. Autier, Lion Syndicate, Eisen Guzar, whatever, Aaron Mobley, Steve W., Kamal 7 Mile Day, Get the Let Out 16, Detroit Fan Man, Greg C., Matt Colin, Quincy Thompson. Where the hell are y'all? You were so vibrant last week in our chat. And for some reason, you're not here. We miss you guys. Punks.
So
yeah, I'm petty like that.
You are petty like that, and that's why I love you, man. So there was a lot of talk about, the Vikings got a lot of money, but they're losing all these players. As you saw, there's not a lot of players that were losing that were very expensive. Like, if we want all those guys back, we can have like 17 of them back, no problem.
No problem.
And still have 60 million.
Right. Like, except for I do think we're gonna have to decide between Bynum and Byron Murphy. I think that's gonna be the biggest decision. besides Harrison Smith. But if Harrison Smith wants to come back, we're gonna let him come back.
Hell yeah.
Like there's no doubt about that. And it's not a hot take because I just think if Flores is back, he's back. So, is there anybody in the chat that would like to come on and talk about anything we've discussed? I'm gonna go ahead and throw up the link.
So I would say this: as far as Sam Donald, the contract I will offer him is 3 years, $100 million, $80 million guaranteed, and his goal will be for JJ McCarthy to beat him straight out. Fair competition, and JJ McCarthy beat him fair out, straight competition. We trade his ass because Sam Donald's gonna have a market.
I knew Sam was coming.
I don't want a Kirk Cousins JJ McCarthy because Kirk Cousins' whole career he had no competition. Fucking Sean Million, fucking it was always Sean.
You want to guarantee $80 million for competition
when you could have Daniel Jones doing it.
For
Daniel
like
Jones
7
ain't competition.
Sam Darnold was.
That's what we said about Sam Darnold coming to the season, except for you,
That's
Shaq.
what y'all
Okay,
said about Sam Donald.
okay,
That's
except for
what
you,
y'all
Shaq.
said. You correct.
Except,
That's what y'all
but if
said.
he would have played for Northwestern, then you would have been saying the same damn thing.
Yeah, because I ain't watched Northwestern. I saw him at USC, and I know what Sam Donald did at USC.
But you didn't see him on the Jets. You didn't see him on the Panthers. You didn't see him when he played that one game for the Niners.
I seen him on the Jets and Panthers. I'm the one who told y'all why he sucked on the Jets and Panthers. I'm the one who told y'all why he sucked.
I saw that. I want that.
Yeah, from USC. At the end of the first round. You could go back and watch all the clips. I stuck up and said the same shit from beginning to end. Nothing never changed.
Give it to us, Sarah.
Well, remember me now. I'll be happy with Daniel Jones starting next year if JJ McCarthy can't beat him out.
Agreed.
Wow.
Remember I said that.
Yeah, I am not paying Sam Darnold $25 million to come in and compete. That's some bullshit.
Oh, we got T-Bass. Uh-oh.
The positivity is about to hit an all-time high.
Yo.
What up, T-Bass?
So what they need to do in the draft and free agency, we're going to roll with JJ. You got to draft guards.
Yes.
First round. I know everybody's we need a defensive tackle, need to take the best guard available. Go on. Free agency, bring in guards. That's why I was screaming last year during the draft when everybody thought I'm an idiot. I hate JJ McCarthy. No, I think the Vikings did it ass backwards. You build an offensive line and then you go get your young quarterback. You don't bring a young quarterback in with a horseshit offensive line. And that's what they're doing.
I don't think they are, though, because I think KOC loves JJ McCarthy too much to let that happen. And that's why you saw him on the podium looking at Kwesi, talking about the offensive line, like, this needs to get better. He's looking at Kwesi in the back of the room. They are 100% going to fix that line this offseason, and it's not going to be by drafting the guard in the first round. It's going to be
I know fans don't like seeing an offensive guard get drafted in the first round and stuff.
There's just not.
It's essential.
Not a guard draft.
Well,
I think they're going to spend free agency on guards and draft DT.
It's just been neglected for so long, and it's been a weakness for years and years, and they've done nothing. They bring in Reisner is their big thing. Oh, we brought in Dalton Reisner. It's frustrating. They have done shit. I mean, they've tried. Who's the guy from Ohio State that didn't even play a fucking game?
Wyatt
Davis or something?
Wyatt Davis. I mean, when they do, they whiff on them. I was mad when they let Cleveland go.
That's why I don't think they're bringing a rookie guard to protect JJ. They're going to sign one or two of them in free agency.
I have a perfect solution to our safety problem. You let Cam Bynum walk, and you can go get a guy named Lewis Seen for really cheap.
Come on, man.
He's a former first-round pick.
That setup was beautiful.
Quasi likes going to get former first-round picks and trying to catch fire in a bottle. He's a genius.
He had an injury early in his career. Quasi likes to take advantage of those guys that had injuries.
Yeah. So there's a way to free up a whole bunch of money.
We have a whole bunch of money, and I promise you, this line is going to be fixed. Now, if you're hoping Bradbury goes away, I don't see that happening. But I do see Bradbury getting 2 new neighbors that are pretty damn good, where now he looks like a good neighbor.
No, and Bradbury, after we extended him, and I kind of blame that on Kevin O'Connell. He wanted him. He wanted him.
Cheap.
We could have parted ways with him 2 years ago, or last year, or whatever.
Rode with Austin Schlottman.
Skol.
I don't know who's out there, but somebody's got to be out there better than Bradbury. That's just
probably not for the price.
Or I say get two guards in free agency and draft a center.
No, that's fine.
That's
a center or a guard. That's who I want to.
But it's not going to be a first rounder. It's going to be like either a 6th or 7th rounder.
Right.
And you want to start a 6th or 7th round guard?
No. We're not going to start. I think they like Juergens. Actually, I think like they're training him to become a center. Michael Juergens.
Here you go, J.J. McCarthy. He got you a center. His name is Juergens. He sucked in college. Hopefully, he doesn't suck here.
So, if we draft a running back, I'll give you 2 styles. You can't say I want a guy with both because those are unicorns. They're few and far between. You want a guy that's a speed guy that's gonna, get you 8 carries for 7 yards and then hit a big play, or do you want a big bruising guy that physically beats the crap out of defenses and wears them down at 2-3 yards a carry?
Big bruising guy. I want Leroy Horde.
I want one of each.
I want Leroy Horde.
I want a big bruiser too. But
I want to be able to run the ball in from the freaking 5-yard line.
Yep.
If we keep Aaron Jones, give me a bruising back. If we don't, give me that. Do everything back.
Give me a bruiser and Cam Akers at this point. Give me a freaking guy who can score when we're on the 5-yard line and we can have him the ball 2 times and he's going to get it in.
Exactly.
I don't know if a running back they can bust one for 35 or 40 yards. We've got receivers that can do that.
Exactly.
Let's get a running back that can just get us ahead of the chains and score in the red zone.
Yeah.
Well, the guy I got.
Like if it's 3rd and 1, we can fucking run the ball.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. T-Bass.
The guy I got my eyes on that might be there around in the 4th round is the kid from Rutgers that led the nation in contact. I think he's going to be there around the 3rd or 4th. Yeah, like I said, he led the nation in yards after contact, so he's a bowling ball. That's the type of guy we want, I think.
Kyle Manungai.
Yeah, that's his name. I didn't even want to try to pronounce it.
George, CJ Ham is used for charity work around the city wearing a Viking jersey.
And sometimes catching first down.
And occasionally catching a first down. Think he might have had 2 of those this year. He also fumbled in the first game of the season.
I think he might be a big locker room guy, though, right?
Yeah, and KOC is a big fan of locker room guys.
Yeah, let's get rid of the locker room guys and get some on the field guys.
No, I agree. But, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to keep some of these guys that you guys brought up just for the fact that this team, other than the offensive line, this team has sucked at team depth for 5-6 years. It just doesn't go back to Quasi. It's the drafts before that. I've always said, that 2021 draft, you had 4 third-round picks. Four third-round picks, and the next year, 3 of them were gone already. Who
the hell do we draft with those 3rd-round picks?
Kevin Mond,
Kellen Mond,
the kid from Ohio State, and Chad Surratt.
yeah, from North Carolina.
And 3 of them weren't on the team the next year. That just kills you.
Sarah, when we were going through all those guys, was there one player where we said keep them or get rid of them? Either way, where you said, "Oh hell no, you guys got this wrong."
No.
T-Bass, I don't disagree with you about the draft picks, so I'm not arguing that point. Yet we were still able to win 13 and 14 games 2 out of the last 3 years, and probably would have won at least 10 in 2023 without the depth that you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know, I'm 58. I've seen these
I'm
movies.
58 too.
I've seen different actors, same movie. I'm just sick of it. Unless we start hanging regular season record banners, I don't care about this great regular season and then get dumped in the first round.
That's all good, but you don't win 14 games without having some sort of depth. Is my point. I kind of don't agree with that. If you noticed all the guys that are on that roster that we were getting ready to dump, those guys were depth guys. They're the guys that filled in when we needed to have some fill in. I understand what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, but I don't know that you're going to build it all from the draft. I just I get where you're coming from, but you don't draft for depth until you're a really good team and you got draft picks, right? That's kind of where
my belief is you draft, and you know, this is the great thing about it. It's all opinion and it's a debate. I'm not saying my way's the way.
I agree.
I've always believed you draft for depth, and then when you're there, then you bring in your free agents to bring you over the hump and win a championship. I'm not a believer of bringing free agents in just to fill holes and make depth. That's where the draft.
And I agree with that. The team that wins free agency seldom wins in the following season, except for last year. I think there was a lot of really great free agents that made differences on teams along the way, including ours.
One of them showed up, guys.
It's just frustrating our drafts the last 5 years. I'm not even blaming this all on Kwesi.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
However you pronounce that, I commend you for actually showing up. You are the one and only Lions fan who showed back up.
I was actually rooting for the Lions to win.
Not me. It made it all better for me that they lost.
Why were you rooting for the Lions fans to win? I mean, Lions team to win.
Well, I have no ill feelings towards that. Okay, I'll put it this way. I grew up in Illinois. I'm a Cubs fan. I seen the same crap when I was a Cubs fan before they won the World Series about, you know, the Cardinals. The Cardinals always just put up with the Cubs. Oh, you're the lovable losers. Then when the Cubs won and they started kicking the Cardinals' ass, it wasn't this friendly rivalry anymore. They could, and that's what I think the Lions got good now, and Viking fans are pissed. And if the Lions won the Super Bowl this year, it would put tremendous pressure on Viking ownership to produce a winner. Tremendous pressure.
I'm not subscribing to that. I had no problem with the Lions. Like, I could saw myself rooting for the Lions to win the Super Bowl until their fans made it bad.
Like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I remember us last year being like at the end of last year, actually complimenting the Lions, saying, "If you know, that's great. They're finally, you know, they're successful. We're happy for them that they're successful." And then we ran into their fans this year.
I mean, it's a select few. I'm sure that's not the people who come on the internet and on these shows is a small sample of Lion fans. There's some Viking fans that go on other things and talk shit. So, I mean, that's right. Any team. So, I mean, I think that. Well, I mean,
yeah, buddy, put a little video up on TikTok and see what happens.
I mean, any social media, you find them.
I guess I grew up different being a Viking fan in Chicago Bear territory. There was a lot of a lot of Bears fans, a lot of Packers fans. So I was always around, people talking shit. So it doesn't really bother me. It's just that's the way fans are. When they get good, and I just, I don't consider them.
Didn't mind them getting good. They didn't mind them getting good. Like Fish said last year, we were like rooting for them. Like, go ahead and do it. But this year, it's like, oh nah, your fans showed their ass.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's that's just the beauty of sports.
And it was beautiful when seeing them lose.
There was.
They had a big hurdle. They had a big hurdle to overcome with all those injuries. They did. I mean, that's an unfortunate thing. I think if they don't have all the injuries on defense, they're probably still playing.
Nope.
So I actually want to go around the room and do this again like we did last week and see who you guys got for these games on Sunday. You guys want to do that?
Eagles
Go.
Eagles physically beat up.
Sarah was like 0 for 4, but she could try again.
No,
Eagles are physically going to beat up on Washington, and the Bills are going to upset the Chiefs.
Thank God.
So you got the Bills and the Eagles.
Yep.
What do you got, Fish?
The Chiefs, because Josh Allen has lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs when he's had a better team surrounding him. He's not going to get over that hump. And I was going to pick the Eagles, but then John Tracy showed up in our chat. So the Eagles are going to lose by 2 scores this weekend.
And they're going to be frauds.
See, and you're right, Fish. Like, this makes it so hard, like, to be like what I really think and like what I want to happen. Like, I don't want to do that. So I'm not gonna do that. I got the Commanders beating the Eagles, and I got the Bills beating the Chiefs. And it's contrary to your point. I think Josh Allen had struggled because he had Stephon Diggs with him and felt like he had to feed him the ball. It's his team. He does what he wants, and everybody respects the decisions he makes and what he does with the ball, and he's having his best season for it.
I hope you're right.
So I got the Bills and the Commanders in the Super Bowl. What do you got, Sarah?
I got the Commanders and the Chiefs. Until Josh Allen can beat the Chiefs, I don't believe it.
Well,
I'm a huge believer in you build championship teams at the trenches, and that's what the Eagles are. Elite offensive and defensive line. So I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
So, Arturo, I don't know if we're saying it right. I want anybody but the Eagles to win. Honestly, I don't have a problem with Kansas City winning it. That's kind of like a free space. Like, I don't know any Chiefs fans. I don't care about them. Like, any fans that I might run into are kind of like front runners. I really don't care. I know a lot of Eagle fans. I'll have to hear it. They talk a lot of shit. I don't want that. Commanders, I know one guy. He's a pretty cool guy. I don't know any other Commander fans, so you guys can go ahead and win. And I don't know any Bills fans. And I don't care that we haven't won one and the Bills haven't. And now that just makes them more special that we haven't and they did. So anybody but the Eagles.
Yeah, you can't root against the Bills just because of that. That's like saying, well, I got cancer, so I hope you have cancer. I mean,
I can dunk on that thing, though.
Windmill style.
I meant to move that before the show, but thanks for noticing. What do you got, Ronaldo?
I am riding because Fish put me on them. I am riding with the Washington Commanders. They are a fun team. I love watching that quarterback play. And because I like quarterbacks, I'm going to do the same thing in the AFC and take the Bills. I am a New York resident. They are the only New York team. And I got tons and tons of fans. Friends that are Bills fans, and I am rooting for them to take it all the way home. I am a Bills fan for the rest of the season. Let's go Buffalo. Best fan base other than ours in football. And you go to a Bills game, playing the Vikings, they treat you like family, man. It is a great place to see a game.
Well, what's the Josh Allen hate? Like, there seems to be some Josh Allen hate out there. I really just do not get it.
I do. I know what it is because he hasn't played well against us. He looked like shit in that game when he fumbled on the 1 yard line, and he.
Yeah, but this is a Lions fan who saw him get beat by Josh Allen. Like, I don't get the Josh Allen. There's universally Josh Allen hate, and I don't get it. He's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL.
He has been known to throw an interception at a pivotal point.
Yeah, the wrong times he throws.
When he had receivers who he had to force it to. Now he has no name receivers, and he had like no interceptions this year. Like,
he really didn't play well against the Ravens.
It's because he made some bad tweets when he was 14. Like, I that's the only explanation I got. Like, there's no reason to hate. Oh, because he leaped over a bar. Yeah,
right.
Like, I don't get what there's any hate for him for because he went to Wyoming. What's up, Trevor?
I love Josh Allen. He's a great quarterback.
Yep.
He's one of my favorite non-Vikings.
Me too.
He's not better than Goff or Dak. Like, what? Like, your takes are worse than just being a Lion fan. All right, Robbie, who you got winning these games this weekend?
I hate the Chiefs, and I'm honestly picking against them just because I hate them. I hate him. Like I said, Josh Allen didn't play well last week. Like, I honestly think the wrong team won. I just do. The best team that could have gone against the Chiefs to knock them out were the Ravens, and I stand by that opinion. But I hope the Bills do it. I hope they do. That's all it is. It's pure, please, dear God, knock these fuckers out. I really don't care who wins except Kansas City. I mean that. Like, I want them out. I would like to see that storybook where the Washington Commanders have the rookie quarterback who was like a shit team last year and makes the Super Bowl. That shit ain't gonna happen. The Eagles are gonna curb stomp them.
I agree.
I would like to see it. I would like to see the Washington Commanders. Honestly, in this perfect world, it's gonna be the Eagles and the damn freaking and the Chiefs, and I don't want to see that. But that's probably what's gonna fucking end up being. But I personally would like the Bills and Eagles or Bills and Commanders. But again, the opposite's going to happen of what I would like.
All these
Where is he crashing out? He's not crashing out in the wild card. He's winning playoff games before losing. And who is he losing to? He's losing to freaking Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Come on, man. Sorry, I had to get that out.
All these upstate New York guys are going to meet up in Syracuse at the one bar in that city and go have a drink.
We are.
Dave,
3 of us.
More to your point, like Bills fans, they're very, very, very courteous and friendly. You are right about that. But
awesome.
Oh fuck, are they annoying?
A little bit.
Yeah, that like every time they score, they sing that chant. Oh my god.
Yep.
But what do they say about us, Robbie? Skol. So
I heard some shit, man.
No, wait, we don't do that every time we score.
Robbie, I gotta tell you, in Nashville, the people that were running the bars fucking hated us. I'm just telling you. I heard it.
You would rather have Goff than Josh Allen as your quarterback.
No.
You're a special kind of person, my guy. If you're saying you would rather have Jared Goff than Josh Allen as your quarterback on the Detroit Lions, Josh Allen on the Detroit Lions, you guys are playing this week.
And winning.
The worst is that damn bass guitar at the Packer games. I hate that.
Like, Bills Mafia are like I said, they're courteous. They'll buy you 10 drinks.
That's wild.
They're the best. They're good people.
This guy found a way to get under my skin.
But
he's not even talking shit either.
All
right, who you got in the NFC, Robbie?
Unfortunately, I feel the Eagles are going to win. I want the Commanders to win, but just it's not going to happen. But the Eagles it's going to be the Eagles.
Yeah, we also said that. You guys also said that last week, Commanders versus Lions.
Do you know what's great? Sometimes being wrong.
I had the Commanders. Fish had the Commanders.
I had the Commanders.
I was right one time.
Adam.
I didn't. Yeah, fuck Detroit. Hey,
I can't get over this. This dude would rather have Goff than Josh Allen.
No. aside from 3 teams, I would say maybe 3-4 teams, that statement doesn't exist. And Detroit's not one of them. There's no way.
All right, Shaq, who you got winning these games this weekend?
I'm going with Commanders.
I hope y'all are right.
Buffalo.
That's what I went with. And I don't know if that's more hope.
That's
what I'm going with.
Yeah.
That's straight hope.
I mean, wouldn't that be the most fun Super Bowl?
Definitely.
It definitely won't be the Eagles and Chiefs. I don't want to see that shit.
Nobody
I don't want to see that shit.
Nobody does.
I'll end up just like on the grill during the game.
Yeah, I might not even watch that. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys don't like the Eagles' offense plays, just running, pounding the ball? I like that style of offense. I like their style of football.
I can't stand the quarterback.
I would like it if they wore different uniforms and were from a different city and had a different team.
See, you're picking the game from your heart, not. I mean,
partly because I also watched Washington beat them. So,
yeah.
And Eagles fans are shitty. Like they're bad. They're horrible.
Jalen Hurts was hurt.
Put it this way, I put 500 on the Eagles on the money line. That's, I mean,
Yeah, Jalen Hurts' knee is hurt.
I mean,
I don't know how well he's going to be able to play this Sunday.
well, they got Barkley.
This isn't bad.
They got
They don't
Barkley.
need Jalen Hurts. They got Barkley.
Yep.
why didn't we get Barkley, Shaq? You should have said something.
We're too busy trying to sign these cheap ass high end guys.
Aaron Jones.
Don't pay running backs. You pay cheaper guys who could do probably the same thing, even though they're not doing the same thing. Not at all.
Hey, the NFL is a copycat league, and let's say the Eagles win the Super Bowl, teams are going to start looking back at, well, maybe having elite offensive and defensive lines and pounding the ball is the way to go. You never know. It's a copycat league.
So T-Bass makes iguana and Sarah makes squirrel. Do I got this right?
Huh?
I got a crap load of iguana now here.
Like, don't you be bringing me into this conversation?
You know,
I'm just saying. I saw the T-Bass makes iguana dishes. So, and I remember Sarah saying she was eating squirrel soup.
I just cook them on the grill.
You know who else eats squirrel? Corey Leggett.
Squirrel's good.
I remember he brought it to the locker room, like it reheated it up in the microwave.
Yeah, Xavier Leggett eats squirrels. I'm like, whoa. I did not know people actually eat squirrels out here.
I heard it from Sarah first, though.
People eat squirrels.
Yeah.
Careful.
I grew up eating squirrels.
Yeah,
That scares me on a few levels, sir. Like on a lot of levels.
Why?
Tomorrow night, iguanas are just going to be falling from the trees because it's going to get cold down here. You just walk around, pick them up, chop their heads off.
Free real estate.
Sarah, did you ask me why? Because squirrel's a fucking rodent. Like I don't eat mice either.
They're food, bro. They're just
fucking
food.
rodents. Literally.
They're tree rats.
Wait, Ronaldo, you eat squirrel?
Yeah, of course I do. You shoot them with 22s. You shoot them. They're in a tree. You shoot them in the head.
That's
you
so
grab
much
their head. They fall out of the tree.
That's
you
so
skin
much
them with
effort
your
for
hands.
2 ounces of meat, a Slim Jim. I'll buy you a fucking Slim Jim so you have to kill the goddamn thing.
Bro, it's a squirrel. They make more. Do you know how many generations of squirrels are made in 1 year, bro? You're out of your mind.
No, I'm just saying. That just seems
There's a lot of squirrel.
There's like 12 generations of squirrel every year, bro.
Let the cats and shit fuck them up. I mean, that just seems like too much work for a human to eat. I get the point. It's the same thing with deer. I get it. I understand the logic behind it, but it just seems like a lot of effort for nothing.
It's actually really fun. It's my favorite kind of hunting. Shoot squirrels.
You go to your backyard. Just
hey, Robbie, I just want you to know, buddy, there was one time when I was a very young man where I accidentally shot a squirrel with a nail gun.
Yikes.
How?
Did he stick to the wall?
I was young, and I fired it into some trees, and
because the safety
walked out there, and that squirrel was stuck to the tree.
How many people you kill after that? Because they say you start with animals.
5, and I'm thinking of making it 6.
He said accidentally.
Hey guys, I gotta go. Great show.
Hold on, fish for a nail gun to work.
All right, T-Bass. We'll see you on Thursday.
UT.
Great show, guys.
Thanks,
Make sure
buddy.
you subscribe and see you next Thursday.
Can you please take that hat off? God, it's annoying me.
Why is it
Sarah, I
annoying
cannot
you?
believe he bought that thing.
Oh,
Why is it annoying you?
That's a horrible hat, bro.
Yes, thank
Horrible
you.
hat.
I just gotta
Don't let
break
the
it
rain on
in,
your
fellas.
And you can break it out of
fellers.
the trash can. That's a bad hat, man.
It's not a bad hat, bro. It's a party hat.
I love it.
And we're partying all off season.
It's a party hat, indeed.
I like it.
I do too.
And I'm gonna make it work.
Probably do too. Sarah, I'm with you, girlfriend. That hat's got to go.
It works better like this.
Thank you.
That's much worse. But go ahead.
Shaq, what were you thinking buying that hat for Keith? You see what's going on here?
I knew he was the captain. You know what I mean? Can't be a captain.
You bought it because you're not gonna wear it. See,
I would wear that. I would wear that hat.
That's what it is.
I'm gonna wear it. Like it's summertime. This is my drinking hat.
Hell yeah.
When he has some Captain Morgan and Coke.
Captain Kangaroo.
Trevor.
What up?
What up, buddy?
Talk to us. Or
What?
don't talk to us.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said. My bad.
We'll stare at each other.
Talk it to us.
Well, I jumped on the show, listened a little bit. I still think it's gonna be Washington and Bills. I think the refs got called out hard enough that the Chiefs ain't gonna be able to win this one.
That'd be nice.
There's always a way.
I'm just ready for some draft.
Picked up a lot of steam though. Like it's bigger than it used to be of how bad it is with the Chiefs and the refs.
Didn't they get suspended, or was that BS?
I think probably was bullshit.
Yeah.
But you know what really was the nail in the coffin was that flop that Mahomes did, that soccer flop out of bounds. That was it. I mean, and that was where it was like people were defending Mahomes. No, he gets hit legitimately, and then they saw that shit. No, yeah, that.
And his defense, Robbie, it was kind of hard for him to stop. He tripped.
Shaq, he built up momentum as he was slowing down. That's physically impossible unless you're doing that on purpose.
Look, I don't like to get caught up in the narratives, but I think they said in the playoffs, the Chiefs have like 10 games where there's more penalties called against the other team and 0 games where it's called against them.
Right. I'm gonna
more penalties.
They get it when it counts. Yeah. Here's an offsides. Here's a false start. But here's a small little tug at the end of the game that's costing the fucking game. They get that flag. That's the problem.
Look I got this take. It's a wild take, but follow me. I believe that if Kirk Cousins got the same calls that Tom Brady got, that Kirk Cousins would have 6-7 Super Bowl rings and Tom Brady wouldn't.
You can say
your address of
player. You can add that to a lot of players.
Copy my take.
The tuck rule.
Yeah, only Shaq gets that one.
How many beers did you drink, Keith?
I'm standing by that.
Oh, this one.
No wonder.
I'm standing
Hold
by
on.
that.
Yikes.
That explains that.
Mahomes been watching the Laker game, watching LeBron flop. He knows how to flop real well now.
It's a soccer flop. It's a soccer flop.
And I can't. So I agree. I hate it, but I can't hate on him for doing it because if the refs are going to give it to him, why not do it?
It's dishonorable.
Dishonorable. At the end of the day, 5 years.
So he's going to cry into his Lamar trophy. He's going to cry into his Super Bowl trophy.
Bob Sweet is my assistant captain.
Why? Because he's sucking that Case Keenum dick?
Mm-hmm.
What does it got to do with sucking anything?
We know how you are with Case.
You had too many Michelob Ultras, my friend.
I only had one.
Yeah, and that's too many for you.
It's only 95 calories, baby.
95.
Yeah, but it's got you drunk as fuck.
I can agree with you on that, Archier.
You had some help.
Video that'll never see the light of day.
Probably not. It's a lot of work. It really is. So is this show. So you gotta pick one. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, fellas. It's been 2.5 hours, and I promised Shaq it wouldn't be 3. So, T-Dub, since you just got here, give us your final words.
It's good. Good season. It's gonna be nice to watch. Bills versus Washington, and Allen taking the trophy home for the Bills. And on to mock drafts. I already mock draft about 7 of them. Shaq's seen about 2 of them.
I thought about 70 of them.
Hey, I tell you what, though, every time I trade back with Baltimore and Kansas City, and I get a shit ton of picks, so it works out, and I still get Booker.
We're gonna trade back for sure. What do you got, Rob?
Tyler Booker.
Who is he?
Tyler Booker.
He's a tackle that's gonna play guard in the NFL.
He's a guard that's gonna play guard.
Oh, that
He's a tackle.
kid from Ohio
Guard.
State?
Yeah,
Alabama.
Alabama.
He's a
Guard.
tackle.
He's a guard. He's both.
They got him
Look
listed
it
as
up.
guard.
He's guard.
Yeah, they list him as guard, but he played tackle for Alabama.
He played guard too, Shaq. You
What
can
did he
go and
play
argue.
last year?
Please argue this with me. I would love.
Is he from Alabama?
Yes.
Pass.
Thank you. You know what? This is the first year we've been successful with 14 wins. It's the first year we drafted from the Alabama. We're not including junior. We're not
First
including.
year.
Stop.
First year we've had 14 wins.
Stop.
We have a kicker who sucked.
Yeah, he was. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. Save that.
No, you are a proud papa for all off season, half the season.
Save that for another show.
Definitely gonna need it.
Probably.
All right, Sarah, what do you got?
I got the Commanders winning this weekend because Jalen Hurts is hurt. So I don't think they're gonna do that well, and they didn't play that well against the Rams either. And the Commanders are one of the most highest scoring offenses. So I got them winning, and I got the Chiefs winning, and then the Chiefs are gonna three-peat because it's inevitable.
I don't like this, Sarah.
I don't either.
Saquon gonna have 300 yards for Hurst being injured.
He's got receivers. Just throw it up there.
He's not that good.
What do you
though.
got, Shaq?
His receiving core.
Thanks for whoever's still tuned in to us. We reached our goals, so now you don't have to buy us coffee no more. You can just drop that super chat. It's simple and easier, Just set up your credit card information, send it to us so we can even send a super chat for you. On a serious note, if you want to donate money, you can send us money on super chats. We'll read them throughout the show. Also, we're gonna be doing some maybe Senior Bowl talk next week because the Senior Bowl is February 2nd. So that is the start of draft season. This is where I rise up and tell the whole cast about all these players that we're probably not going to draft, and then we're going to take some bum ass second-rate player and we're going to hype him up to be the best player because he's a Viking. But stick tuned for draft season.
Draft season is definitely upon us, and yes, we will be
That
diving
reminded
into
me,
that next week.
Shaq, I got a message the other day from a guy who asked me for my name, address, phone number, and he would send me $30,000 in cash.
Do it. Give him my name number and social security.
30,000.
Yeah, I almost took one for the team, but I wasn't sure if I should believe him or not.
Just give him my information.
I almost got myself canceled.
I will take care of it.
If you get rid of that hat.
Never mind. You keep the 30,000. What do you got, Rinaldi?
All right. So the Let's Go podcast has hit 500 sign-ons, subs, and now we're going for 1,000. We have to be one of the fastest growing podcasts out there. Have to be. And we're 2 years every week, guys. We bring it every single week. It's not like we're not gonna be here next week. We are gonna be here next week. We're gonna be talking Vikings football all year long. So sign on. Please hit the sub button. If you want to donate, we'll take it. We are trying to hit some other goals that can make this show even better. And thank you for making it all about you guys instead of us. And it's always a lot of fun when you guys get on. I really appreciate that. And let's go, man. We'll see you all year.
Michael Fish.
Show of hands. Who here said they want to see the Bills win the Super Bowl? No, motherfuckers. You want us to be one less team to not win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Fuck
the Chiefs.
Chiefs switched up.
Like I don't want them to be us to get it, but I'm down for them to get it because that makes us more special. But
there's got to be another 0-4 team. I'm sorry. You can't be the only 0-4.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to play the Bills in the Super Bowl and then us lose to them and they get it that way.
I'm
okay with them getting it now.
Because if they win, then we're going to be the only 0-4 team in the Super Bowl, and that's what we're going to hear.
Good.
So we're special.
It puts more pressure on us. Now we gotta get one.
Yeah, that's gonna work. That's gonna make
pressure makes diamonds. Pressure makes diamonds, and diamonds aren't Super Bowl rings.
It's the right amount of heat. It's the right amount of heat and pressure, and I tell you what, it ain't gonna make a damn bit of difference. It's only gonna be more discouraging to us as a fan.
So that will only leave the Browns, Chargers, Jaguars, Lions, Texans, Arizona Cardinals, Falcons, Panthers, Bengals, and Titans, including us.
None of which are 0-4 in the Super Bowl. No. If there's going to be a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl that's going to win a Super Bowl, it's got to be us. Then they can all have their turn after we've won 3.
Don't worry. There's teams that can catch up with us.
So you would rather the Eagles win the Super Bowl than the Bills?
Yes.
No. At this point, I'd rather the Commanders win the Super Bowl.
No. That wasn't the question.
Yes, I would.
You'd rather the Eagles win than the Bills?
No shot.
Fish.
No.
Does their entire fan base go up in flames in a freak fire accident?
Again,
not a chance.
Don't care.
I mean, you're asking me to pick between a rock and a hard place. I don't want to be.
I literally know that I'm doing that, and I'm asking you to do that.
Yeah, I'd rather the Eagles win another Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
There you go. I'm on the same boat.
Give me a lighter, somebody. Give me a lighter.
Why do you want to burn up that hash shack off of you?
Because no, come on, man.
It's a lifestyle, that's for sure.
It was either Lions or Eagles. Like those are the two teams I didn't want to win, and after that, I can't be a begging chooser or whatever, chooser beggar, whatever. Like,
so why are you trying to glue me to the teams that you had picked? I'm not you.
You're trying to.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I'm just I can't understand. I can't understand as a Viking fan. As a Viking fan, I can't understand how you would want the Eagles to freaking win a Super Bowl.
As a Vikings fan, I can't understand how you would want a team who has not won.
Because they're not a rival. They're not a rival. They're not at all.
They are a rival. They were a rival.
They're not a rival.
They're
not a rival. They're not.
Yeah,
I don't watch the Bills play on week 3 and be like, ugh, I hate that shit.
Yeah,
Eagles, I do. Eagles, I do. Because I'm a Viking fan. I don't do it because of me as Keith Hansen. I do it as me as a fucking Viking fan and what I've gone through as a Viking fan against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Bills are a good team with a good fan base. Let them fucking win.
Yeah, man.
Seriously. Like, the Eagles are the antithesis of that by a fucking mile.
Exactly.
Washington, I don't know too many of them. And again, Chiefs fans and the Chiefs kind of stand behind that one. Let the Bills win. Let me put it. They're the good guys in this, and everybody else is like fucking Cobra Commander and shit. And the other 3, fuck them. Go Bills.
Anybody but the Eagles. All right. Well, that's our show, everybody. We'll be back next Thursday. We're back here every Thursday. Occasional Wednesday instead of Thursday because things come up in our lives. But we'll be here every week. So until then, let's go.
Let's go.